Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. My name is AyoT, and this is Eagle Shotgun of Nigeria Football. You are watching the Naija FC podcast, or you might be listening to it if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you very much for joining. We have an exciting episode coming up today. Lots to discuss. We'll talk about transfers. We'll talk about performances from the weekend. We'll talk about the CAF Confederations Cup. And of course, the big one, the big news that just hit us a couple minutes before we came on air today is the appointment of Eric Chelle as the new Super Eagles head coach. So stick with us. It is going to be an exciting conversation. I promise you, it is going to be an exciting conversation. Stick with us and you would enjoy this one. So I'll start with a weekend review, like I always do. Just talking about the different Nigerian players who performed well over the weekend, highlighting them and just giving them their props. With the goalkeepers, Joshua Oluwayemi made 7 saves for Wellington Phoenix. Unfortunately, they fell to a 2-0 defeat against Melbourne City FC. Couldn't prevent his team from losing that game. It shows you how bad their defense is. But he made 7 saves in that game, so kudos to him. Adebayo Adele didn't have the best game for Enosis Nyon Paralimno, but he featured. He also played a game, I think today. Played a game on Friday and played another game today. Today he got sent off. LOL. But yes, that happened. Francis Uzoho also played for Omonia today. Unfortunately, they fell to a 2-0 defeat. So not the best week for our Nigerian goalkeepers. Moving over to defenders, Ashley Plumter with an assist, forced an own goal for Al Ittihad ladies in their cup defeat against Al Nassr. Calvin Bassey made an error, but other than his error, also had a decent game for Fulham. AJ Isaiah kept a clean sheet and had 1 assist for Badashura Kings in India. Chikamso Okechukwu for Enyimba, 5 tackles, 6 clearances, 8 goals, 1. Good performance in the CAF Confederations Cup. Kingsley Hisbue with a clean sheet, 10 goals, 1 and 1 chance created for Udinese Calcio in Italy. Batasai Samuel with 1 tackle, 7 goals, 1 for Fenerbahce in Turkey. And then Ola with a clean sheet, 2 tackles, 4 clearances, 5 goals, 1 for Nottingham Forest in that impressive 3-0 victory over 3-0 victory over Wolves. Moving over to the midfielders, Toby Alagbe scored a goal, won 4 goals and made 4 clearances for Asteras Tripolis in Greece. Kelechi Nwakali had a good game, ran the midfield for Barnsley. And then Anthony Dennis with an assist, 2 chances created and 7 goals, 1 for Göztepe over there in Turkey. Ibrahim Olawoyin with 2 dribbles, 3 tackles and 11 goals, 1 for Rizespor in Turkey. Azibuike Okechukwu with a chance created and 2 tackles for Ezemspor also in Turkey. The forwards, Babajide Akintola created 3 chances and won 6 goals for Kaika Rizespor. Paul Mokairu got the goal and assist for Bolispor in Turkey. Tony Wakeme created 3 chances and completed 4 dribbles for Trabzonspor. Unfortunately, they fell to a 2-1 defeat against Samsunspor. Alex Iwobi created 2 chances for Fulham in their game. Wale Ali, 1 assist, 2 dribbles, 7 goals, 1 for USM Alger. That was in the CAF Confederations Cup. Joseph Atule, our star of the week, with 2 goals and 1 assist for Enyimba in their 4-1 victory over Black Bulls. That one in the CAF Confederations Cup as well. And then Hamid Jalil with an assist and 8 goals, 1 for Black Bulls against the Enyimba, also in the CAF Confederations Cup. Favor Akim scored a goal for Elguna FC. Sunday Emmanuel scored a goal for Mohammedan in Bangladesh. Sadiq Fatai got an assist for Panafel. And Rashidat Ajibade created 2 chances, 1 7 goals, and committed 2 dribbles for Atletico de Madrid Femenino. And then for the strikers, of course, Ifeanyi Ihe Mekwele scored a goal and created 5 chances for Enyimba. Fantastic performance, I must say. James Adeniyi got an assist for Hapoel Hadera in Israel. Tosin Omoyele scored a goal and created 1 chance for CS Constantine, also in the CAF Confederations Cup. Franklin Sasere scored 2 goals for Floriana in Malta. Bede Osuji with 1 assist and 9 goals on for Manisa FK in Turkey. David Okereke with a goal for Gaziantep in Turkey. Emeka Eze with 1 goal, chances created, 4 dribbles and 7 goals, 1 for Pendikspor in Turkey. Victor James Osimhen with a goal for Galatasaray from the spot in their 2-1 victory over Anthony Dennis's Göztepe. Josh Maja with 2 dribbles, 2 chances created, 6 goals, 1 for West Bromwich Albion. Kristantos Uche with 4 goals, 1 and 1 chance created for Getafe. And again, our star of the week for this week, best performance we felt, over the weekend was Joseph Atule of Enyimba with 2 goals and 1 assist in that 4-1 victory over Black Bulls in the CAF Confederations Cup. This is the time where Smith Layi and I would usually dive deeper into certain performances, but unfortunately, I'm not sure why Smith Layi is not here yet. So I'll just share my thoughts on certain things that happened that I just want to highlight in his absence. I'll start by highlighting Rashidat Ajibade, player for the Super Falcons, of course. player for Atletico de Madrid Femenino. Rashidat Ajibade returned to action this past weekend. Unfortunately, her team fell to a 2-1 defeat against Real Madrid in the Spanish Liga F. But after missing over 6 weeks of action, over 50 days out with an injury, I was happy to see her back on the field. She had a decent game. Unfortunately, she just couldn't lead her team to the victory. But, kudos to her. Happy to see her back on the pitch. Rashidat Ajibade, Super Falcons captain. Also, I will just quickly talk about a match that happened in Turkey. It was an interesting match. It was our game to watch. It was between Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray and Anthony Dennis's Göztepe. Both Nigerian players performed well on the day. It was a fantastic match. Osimhen, of course, got Galatasaray the lead from the penalty spot, and then Anthony Dennis got the assist for Göztepe's equalizer before Galatasaray eventually scored another goal and won that game 2-1. Kudos to both Nigerian players. I'm always happy to see Nigerian players. When they face each other, I'm happy to see. And when they both impress, it makes it even that much nicer. So kudos to Victor Osimhen and Anthony Dennis for that performance over there in Turkey. Moving on. This would have been a question for Smith Layi, but it's going to be a question for you guys. If you watched Fulham's game against Ipswich, I believe it was, for the first goal, Calvin Bassey made an error, a clearance that was made that wasn't a good clearance, and then unfortunately Ipswich were able to capitalize on that and score a goal. And we made a post on social media, and I saw a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh, this Bassey guy is always making mistakes. He's always error prone, things like that." I didn't necessarily agree with it, because even if you even check the statistics throughout the season, well, he's had 3 errors that led to a shot for Fulham, and this was his first error that led to a goal in the season. But a lot of people were saying, no, he makes errors when he plays for Nigeria. So I want to throw this question to you guys, my audience. Calvin Bassey, yes, I know he made an error this week. It's football. Things can happen. But is it fair for people to start saying he's an error-prone player? Just let me get your answers very, very quickly. Do you think it is fair for people to say he's an error-prone player? Very quickly, guys. What do you think? Let me just see. What do you think? Everybody wants to talk about the coach. We'll get there. But we have to run through the program. We'll get there. We'll get to the coach. Don't worry. Somebody is saying yes, he is. Interesting. Another person says yes, he is. Okay. I guess some people do think that is the case. Okay, David says, of course not. That is just reactionary. Okay, so David disagrees and says it is just reactionary. I also felt like it was reactionary, but a lot of people were disagreeing with me, and that was the only reason why I even wanted to. Again, this was supposed to be a question for Smith Layi, but for better or for worse, Smith Layi has not joined us yet. I'm not sure. Something must be happening. But as they say, the show must go on. Okay, let me move. Okay, Daniel says no, it's just because he's a defender. Okay, so Daniel disagrees with those people. Unlimited Favor says he often makes errors. Okay. Taiwo says nope, not fair. People are too quick to judge on players. So Moonscapi says I think Calvin has his good days and off days. Generally, he's a good defender. Super Falcons, that's a top player, and top players make mistakes sometimes. It's unfair to generalize and ignore real performance of players. Taiwo says he just needs to calm his clear outs. Yeah. Okay. So it's mixed opinion. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. I'm on the side that no, it's a bit reactionary, especially when you look at the numbers. Of course, it's in life. People hang on to negatives over positives. You can have 10 good games, and then you make one mistake, and people remember that mistake. Look at Yakubu, fantastic striker for Nigeria, for his club, but he made one mistake. Till today, if people see him, that's the first thing they want to talk about. So unfortunately, humans and Nigerians especially, I don't know why, hang on to negatives. So I also think he's a bit reactionary. I think he's a very good player. Yes, he made an error, but strikers miss chances when Osimhen misses a chance. If I talk about it, people will call me a hater. But if a defender makes a mistake, all of a sudden people want to be reacting and be talking, oh, is this, is that, is that. It's just because he's a defender. Obviously, defenders, if they make an error, it leads to potentially a goal or a shot. If a striker makes an error, okay, you get another chance to score. But yeah, let us move forward. Let us move forward. Next thing that I want to talk about very, very quickly is one of the happiest moments of this past weekend. One of the things that made me really, really delighted. One of the things that lit up my Sunday. You guys might already know what I'm talking about. Taiwo Awoniyi finally scored his first goal for the season with Nottingham Forest. I mean, not due to any fault of his own. This guy has got like my friend Olu likes to say, they've been giving him chicken change minutes. When the game is done, and then you're just looking for somebody that will just hold ball in the corner flag for the remaining 1 minute, you bring him on. Very, very annoying something. Even yesterday, I was expecting him to get more minutes. Even yesterday, I was expecting him to get more minutes because they were winning the game 2-0 already. I thought, okay, just bring this guy on from like 60th minute or 65th minute. Let him see out the game. But no, they still brought him on for chicken change minutes. It's just that, who God don't bless, no man can cause. So Taiwo Awoniyi, despite the very few minutes that he played yesterday, was able to get on his score sheet. You could see how happy he was. You could see how happy his teammates were for him. As a striker, you need goals, man. You need goals to build your confidence. Taiwo Awoniyi, because of the way he's been getting no minutes for his club, it has opened him up to criticism from a lot of Nigerian players. Nigerian players have been talking nonsense, saying that, oh, he's not good, oh, he should not be in super. Not Nigerian players, sorry, Nigerian fans. Not Nigerian players. Nigerian fans have been saying, oh, he's not good enough, he shouldn't be in the Super Eagles, all sorts of things. As if it was playing badly. My guy was playing 8, 9, 10 minutes per game, and people wanted to just be criticizing him so much. So I was so happy to see Taiwo get on the score sheet this Sunday. And hopefully Nuno Espirito Santo sees that and says, let me give this guy more minutes. Hopefully he says, let me play this guy some more, let me trust this guy some more. He doesn't stop working, he doesn't stop trying. He wants to do well, but he needs an opportunity for him to be able to do well. Without the opportunity, if he keeps on playing 2 minutes when the game is done and dusted, it's going to be very difficult. So I'm hoping that as he has started 2025 with a goal, things can go well for him. I don't wish injury on any player. So I'm not going to say, oh, Chris Wood should get injury. I don't wish injury on any player. I'm also a believer that somebody's own does not have to spoil for your own to go well. Because a lot of people think everything is so. If somebody's own doesn't have to spoil for your own to go well. But I want Taiwo to get more opportunities. I want him to be able to score more goals and for him to shut people up, the people that have been criticizing him unnecessarily. So I was very happy for him, man, and hopefully he can at least finish the season with like 10 goals. But he needs games, he needs minutes to get those goals. So shout out to Taiwo Awoniyi. We'll be watching you for the rest of the season. Moving over to CAF Continental competition, our very own Enyimba, the People's Elephants, were in action this past weekend, playing against Black Bulls of Mozambique, and it was a 4-1 victory for them in that game. Of course, we had Brownie Day coming off the bench to get his first goal for Enyimba. And let's welcome Smith Layi. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just throw you into the fire right from the start.
Yeah. I didn't know. I thought I didn't see the Nigerian flag there in that time, so I thought it was the UK flag, 10 p.m. UK time. Apologies, guys. In fact, yeah.
Well, don't worry. The main what everybody's waiting for is Super Eagles coach. So when we get there, don't worry. We'll really dive deep into it. But let me ask you. Enyimba versus Black Bulls 4-1 in the CAF Confederations Cup. Ihe Mekwele, Joseph Atule with 2 goals and Brownie Day. We spoke about Enyimba before and how they were struggling. This win has at least given them a chance that maybe if they win their other matches, they can come out of the group. But what did you think of the performance? What did you think of the game?
Good performance, fantastic performance by Enyimba team. I think that we have to say with due respect to they are playing against the weakest side, in that group. So for me, I think that it's not it's not a bad performance. I was particularly impressed about Atule's performance. I know him from Lobby Stars. He did so well for Lobby Stars. So I'm happy with what they did. But now, after the 4-1 victory, they're still bottom of the table. So they still need to beat Al Masry, in the next game in Uyo. So for me, very good performance, but for me, it's not Uru yet for them. Good different direction from what Yemi used to believe in. It's a more like Nigerian style of football now, not the passing from the back one, like the one that Yemi used to do when he was there. So now that it's now have to be, again with Stanley Eguma, it's a more pragmatic approach towards games, like a kill and go tactics, So for me, I think that is a very good performance, but it's not Uru yet. So they should not party too much, They have to play against Al-Masry in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, yeah. Well said. And let me ask you about our own former Super Eagles player, Brownie Day, getting his first goal for them. How did that make you feel? What do you think his influence in Enyimba is going to have?
For me, I like what we discussed before, about the impact Ahmed Muzaku actually would have, coming back to the league. So same thing as Brownie Day too. I was so relieved when he actually scored his first goal. He has been out of football for like close to 2 years now, maybe probably 18 months, out of football, but he's now back in the team, playing in the Nigerian league. So for me, it's a big relief, and I can see that, he gingered the dressing room more. I saw, his what's it called? One of the posts from one of the players in Enyimba, the way he was advising them on how to, to play well and everything, what it means. So for me, they seem as a big brother. Don't forget that Ideye Brand went to the World Cup. Brand Ideye played at the AFCON winner. So it's not a small player playing the Premier League. Forget about. Just check it out. The record speaks for him. So I'm happy he got all the score sheets. And it's just good for the league, and I think that it's going to actually further bring other players too that are thinking that maybe probably that they're too big for the league. They can come and actually contribute positively to the league. Imagine what's it called? Maybe probably Odin Gallo playing for Ikorodu City, FC. When you see John Ogu too playing for maybe Sporting Lagos, your darling team playing for Sporting Lagos, and maybe, maybe you see some people, Onaze playing for Raymond Stars. I saw him training with Raymond Stars initially, So, you never know. But I just think that, it's a good thing for the league.
No, it's definitely a good thing for the league. There was one person that pointed something out to me. When they unveiled him, he wore jersey number 34. But when he played, he wore jersey number 37. He did speak about that in an interview that he did, though. So let's talk about that very quickly. So Brownie Day had an interview with News Central TV, and he spoke about his return to the MPFL, the intentions behind his move. And a few things struck me, so I sent it to you. I said, let's talk about this. So I'll just give people the tidbits, the headlines of what Brownie Day spoke about, when he did that interview. So he mentioned that he came home because he wasn't getting the kind of offers that he wanted abroad. He said the money that was being offered to him was not money that he wanted to go to someone else's country to go and play football for. So obviously this is the first indication that people don't rate you as much as they used to rate you. Obviously your money is not coming the same way. I mean, it's not an indictment on him. He's an older player now, he's had a good career. But that's the first thing that he mentioned. He also mentioned that he had tried to sign for Rivers United before, but they did not want him, or for whatever reason they did not sign him, but he wanted to join them. So Enyimba is the team that wanted him, and he joined them. I can't lie, the way he kind of said it during the interview came across as if I'm just doing Enyimba a favor. The way he kind of said it, was like, this is the team that wanted me, so I joined them. He wasn't really like, but he did express how happy he is to be there, how warm the welcome has been. He also went on to encourage other Super Eagles players. So he said, if you are in my situation, if you know that where you are not happy, the money that they are paying you is not up to what you want, come back home and play in the league. That's the advice that Brownie Day is giving to other Super Eagles players. You mentioned people like Ogenyo Nazi, you mentioned people like John Ogu. I know that the Nigerian league is not flashy, it's not the flashy lifestyle that I are used to. But hey, someone like John Ogu now has been out for about a season without a club. Even if it's Lagos team, just so that you don't want to be going and living in a land that you are not familiar with. Try to see how, because I'm sure Ikorodu City will be happy to have a Super Eagles midfielder like John Ogu in their team.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. You mentioned Sporting Lagos. I'm sure they will be happy to have someone like that in their team.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good advice. And finally, he mentioned no interest in playing Chan. He shut down very quickly. He does not even know what it's called. So he's not interested in playing Chan. All he wants to do is focus on Enyimba, and he wants to win the NPFL with Enyimba. And he also explained that the controversy between his jersey numbers is that when it was time for CAF Confederations Cup, Enyimba said, we gave you 34, but 34 not available for CAF. So you have to choose 37. I'm not sure exactly why 34 would not be available in CAF. I don't know if there's some rule that I'm not aware of or something in the registration. I don't know. But essentially, they have a player that is wearing 2 jersey numbers. When he's playing in the league, he's wearing 34. When he's playing on the continent, he's wearing 37. That's the summary of that interview with News Central TV and Brownie Day. So, Smith Layi, what were your takeaways from Brownie Day's interview?
I was let me just talking something about the guessing number. So I think I spoke to someone in my boy just told me that the likely issue with that guessing number could be like Enyimba already registered a player with guessing number 37. Maybe the player now left. Also, then they can't, they have to, that is taken already. I don't know how they do that, but because this is January now, they should be registering new players again. If a player is not longer there, why can't they just delete the registered player? So, for me, I learned something from that interview that it's not all Nigerian players abroad gets the catch. When you say that what they are offering is not what that is really interested in. IoT, you work with the Eagles tracker, you work with so many Nigerian players. You know how these things actually works. So that means that sometimes too, if you do your maths together, it's better for you to come home and actually play, get what you could get, which is going to be slightly more valuable than what they actually offering you over there. So for me, I learned something that these guys, there's no pride here. Just humble yourself and actually come and actually play with all these teams to promote the league. And I think that playing in the NPFL will even put Brownie Day in more spotlight, because if Ideye is doing so well in the NPFL, if they are mentioning, strikers to play for the national team, emergency striker, maybe a player got injured and we couldn't have time to replace the player, they can bring in, it's not retired from the national team. They can bring in Brownie Day. So for me, I just like someone that, he started in the local league and is coming back to the local league to actually end his career. He so said something that these 6 months might be the end of everything, just to win the league, or it can still be more than that 6 months, but it's just taking it the way it comes. And I'm also happy that he's also keeping fit, as actually what he said, he goes to the gym 5 days in a week just to make sure that he keep on top of his squad, of his team. So kudos to Brownie Day for that. So I know how he started in Ocean Boys of Brass. I know, with Blessing Okadi and so on. I know, he played in the Under-20 World Cup under Ladamboso, in 2007. I know how everything started, but now it's like a glorious ending for Brownie Day. Very, very eventful career in Europe and back home. Fantastic. He did well for Nigeria too.
All right. Shout out to Brown Ideye. I know everybody's waiting for the conversation around the Super Eagles head coach. We'll get there, guys. We'll get there, but we have to go through our program, our schedule for today. We will talk about the Super Eagles head coach. Don't worry about that. Okay. Right now, let me just quickly acknowledge the best 11 from this past week, according to Eagles Tracker. The 11 players who performed the best. In goal, we had Joshua Oluwayemi with his clean sheet. No, not a clean sheet. 7 saves for Wellington Phoenix. We have in defense Ola Aina, Ashley Plumter, Chikamso Okechukwu, and Kingsley Ihizbue. And then in midfield, Toby Alagbe and Ibrahim Olawoni. And then in attack, Paul Mukairu, Franklin Sasere, Emeka Eze, and then Joseph Atule with the star of the week, 2 goals and 1 assist for Enyimba. Interestingly enough, this is the first time that a Nigerian player or a player based in Nigeria would win our Star of the Week award. So fantastic display from Joseph Atule, and he's made history as far as Eagle Striker is concerned. The first time that a Nigerian-based player would win our Star of the Week award, because typically somebody in Europe is always doing something crazy, and then our Nigerian players would do badly on the continent. But he had a fantastic game this past weekend, so congratulations to him for that one. Okay, moving on quickly. I'm trying to speed things up because I know that we're going to spend time on the Super Eagles coach. I also just want to highlight and acknowledge 35-year-old Super Falcons goalkeeper Yewande Balogun, who has now officially retired from football. She, of course, was part of the Super Falcons team that went to the World Cup in 2023. She last played for AS Saint-Etienne in France, and she won the French second division title in 2023, helping her team gain promotion to the first league, which they are still in the first league till today. So congratulations to Yewande Balogun. I wish her all the best in her future endeavors, and watch out for an exclusive interview with her on Eagle Striker, where she's going to talk about her football journey, talk about how she made it into the Super Falcons, and also talk about what she's going to be doing in the next phases of her career. So congratulations to Yewande Balogun. Enjoy your retirement, and for our audience, watch out for an exclusive interview with her on Eagle Striker in the coming weeks. Okay, moving on to the next talking point. Let's talk a little bit about transfers. Of course, we're in January, the window is open. Some players have moved, some players are rumored to be moving. Let's just talk about a few players very, very quickly. I was going to talk about some rumors, but because of time, I'm going to skip over some and just talk about one rumor and then official transfers. The rumor that I want to talk about is a report that we've been hearing coming out of Nigeria that the Super Eagles defender, Sadiq Ismail, is on the verge of joining Albanian club FK Partizan. This news has been in the air for, I'll say, a couple weeks now. Nothing official yet, but it seems like it's for sure going to happen based on all indications that we are getting. And it just struck a question in my head because I've seen this happen many a times. A player from the league gets called up to the Super Eagles, they perform well, they get the club abroad, then all of a sudden, no more Super Eagles call up. I've asked this question before. When they were in Nigeria, they were good enough for the Super Eagles, but all of a sudden, when they went abroad, they are no longer good enough. So I'm going to pose that question to you, Smith Layi, as well as our audience. Sadiq Ismail is somebody that certain people that like the MPFL have fought for before, and they argued for him when he was getting all those assists for Remo Stars. They argued for him to be in the Super Eagles. Now that he's joining FK Partizani, is that the end of his Super Eagles career? Because I don't think anybody is arguing for any Nigerian player based in Albania to be called up. It's not. There are many Nigerian players in Albania. Many. Nobody's arguing for them to be called up. So now, if he goes there, is that the end of his Super Eagles career, or is he still good enough, even though he's in Albania, to be playing for the Super Eagles? Like, what do you think?
I think it's the end of his Super Eagles career in a level playing field. Don't forget that I said in a level playing field, though, that's the end of his career. If you have to pick players on merit. But if you don't go to pick players on merit, that is not the end of his career, because a player left Bender Insurance to Tanzania in Yefu. We thought that might be the end of his Super Eagles career, but the player got a call-up from Yefu in Tanzania, and he played for Super Eagles in 2 World Cup qualification games. So that is if it's equal, if everything according to everything is equal, I think that that's the end. Talking about the level of the MPFL, I don't want to be controversial here. What is the level of the MPFL? What is the level of the MPFL? So you don't even know, maybe it's even what they call up initially. I said it here that if you have a player doing so well in Serie C, having assists on a regular basis, will you argue for the player to be called up to the national team? There's a player playing in Austria. Is it Chibuke Unwawu, the boy that left Enyimba for the Austrian league? Austrian league is much better than Nigerian league, but he didn't get a call up to the national team. So for me, I just think that that is probably the end of those campaigning for him, and that's his end with national team. Except he performed so well in the Albanian league and actually move to a more competitive European leagues. For me, that is the end of his Super Eagles career. So that is what I think for now.
Okay. I think I would also have to agree with you. I'm not even going to speak on the player's individual ability. I'm not going to do that. But for me, again, this is just the constant dilemma that we have with our home-based players. Somebody shines in the league, they get a call up. That call up gets them a little bit of exposure and a little bit of added reputation. They move abroad. Once they move abroad, we don't hear about them again.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of it is, thank God for Eagle Striker. People don't give us our credit a lot. People don't give us our flowers a lot. But somebody like Sadiq Ismail now, like, we're the only people that are going to be talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the reality. We are the only ones that are going to be talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
If not for Eagle Striker, a player goes to Albania, the person essentially goes into oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
I had a player that was reaching out to me today and was just thanking me and just saying thank you. Because, like, without us talking about his games, without us talking about his posts, nobody knows what is going on. So I hope somebody like Sadiq Ismail will be grateful to a platform like Eagle Striker. I hope other players are grateful. But I don't think anybody's going to be fighting for him from Albania. He's not the only player in Albania. There are people that have done well in Albania, people that are doing well in Albania. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can still get another call up to the Super Eagles. But let's not waste too much time on that one. Let's go into 3 official transfers, and then we'll get into national team talk.
Sorry, I don't know. Maybe there's one. I don't know. Have you finished talking about Kelechi?
I don't want to go into that because of time.
Okay, can I just say something about?
Okay. Don't worry. We'll take it 2 minutes. So, Kelechi Iheanacho potentially on the way out of Sevilla. The manager of Sevilla had confirmed that he has received several offers. Nothing that's has happened yet. He doesn't know if any of those teams are actually serious, but some offers have been made. Yeah, Smith Layi, the ball is in your court.
So, like, for me, and the reason why I want to talk about this matter is that so I don't want to reference you now. You said something initially, that anytime he traveled, out of the country, maybe probably from, he's not in his club, he's Nigeria. When he comes back, he's always out of shape. And the coach confirmed that there was a slight problem when he returned from Nigeria. That is what the coach said. And the coach also said that we had, you're having offers for a player you bought in September and a player that is the second highest, earner in that club. To tell you that, just to support the point you made earlier, that the hierarchy in Sevilla, they are already giving up on Iheanacho. And the reason why I talk about this matter is that where does he go from here? That is the issue. So if you have this opportunity to prove yourself here in this type of league, where do you now go from here? So for me, I think it's a wake-up call for him to know maybe he can still bring a bird from his pocket, and change things around. Or, you need to just try and sort things out. And I also want to say something too. The national team managers now, they should not impose energy on them. You need to sort out his club career first and be playing on the regular basis and be performing on a regular basis. It's not just training well. It needs to be performing. The more matches is different from training. People have been saying that he's very good at training. No, we want to see him in match conditions too. So I just think that he should sort himself out before they should invite him to the national team. For now, I want to go against what Eguavon said, that it's an asset to Nigeria. For me, I don't think he is an asset now. I think it's more of a liability to the national team than an asset. Thank you.
Okay. I won't go deep into that, but I've said this before. It's not over until it is over.
Yeah.
This might not have worked out.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that something else is not going to work out for him.
Yeah.
For me, I just hope that he can put his foot down, get his head down, focus on the task at hand, stay fit, stay healthy. And if he stays in Sevilla, I don't know if he's going to get more minutes. So I'd really encourage him to just move.
Mm-hmm.
I know he likes. I know. See, the thing is that I said I'll not talk about it. Now I'm talking about it. But when you've made money in your career,
Mm-hmm.
some kind of money, it doesn't encourage you again.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been in Man City, you've been in Leicester, in England, you have made like 20, 30,000 a week. You won't want to go to Belgium and collect 5,000 a week.
Mm-hmm.
You won't want to go to all these countries and be collecting even some clubs in Belgium will pay you 2,500 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that he will want to take a step down, but if he stays in Sevilla and forces them to see out the rest of his contract, it's not a good thing for him. So I
Mm-hmm.
just think if he doesn't want to go to a lower league in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
go to Saudi, man.
Mm-hmm.
Look for a club in UAE. Like nobody is going to criticize Kelechi Iheanacho's career.
Yeah.
He has had a fantastic career by Nigerian standards.
Yeah.
By Nigerian standards, he has had a fantastic career. 99% of Nigerian footballers would pray to have the career that Kelechi Iheanacho has had. 99% will pray that they can have the kind of career that he has had.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if things are not working out for you right now, just go and make some money in Saudi, bro. Go and make some money in the UAE. Players we no see half of your career, they've already gone to Saudi to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I just look at it that if things are not working out for him, rather than sitting on the bench, allowing people to be criticizing you, allowing people to be talking negative about you, just go to Saudi, go and make your money, score a few goals, and nobody would care. Like nobody would say anything negative. So that would just be my own personal advice to Kelechi, and they will probably even pay you more than what you are collecting at Sevilla. Okay, moving forward very quickly. Let's get into official confirmed transfers. So the first one that we heard of, which of course we spoke about on the last episode, it was about to be confirmed and now officially has been confirmed. It was the move from what's the name of the club? Olympic Lyon to TSG Hoffenheim for Gift Orban. He already played for them in a friendly game against FC Augsburg. You can see he played 45 minutes in that game. Didn't score, but getting acclimatized and getting familiar with his teammates. Orban has signed a 5-year deal with Hoffenheim, and is hoping to revive his career after a turbulent time at Olympic Lyon. I spoke about this on the last episode, and I'm going to just say it again with all due respect. And nobody, people these days are very fragile and get offended very quickly. So I'm saying this with all due respect. I mean no offense. This is just my own opinion. I think his advisors, his agents, should be very, very intentional and careful. I don't know if they are being intentional and careful right now. I know how agency and commissions work. If a player signs a contract now like this 5-year contract, it's not always the same. But for the most part, the agent's commission is a percentage of the entire amount of his contract. So if he's on $1 million a year or €1 million a year for 5 years for 5 million, a percentage of 5 million, maybe 5, maybe 10%. If it's 10%, that's 500k. If it's 5%, that's 250k. Is what the agents get as commission. Even if the player moves in 2 years, you still get your full commission for the full term. I've been involved in certain player transfers, and that's how it worked. So, sign a 5-year contract with Lyon. It doesn't work out. Switch over. Sign a 5-year contract with Hoffenheim after 1 year. His agent has made bank, but the player has been halted in his career. So for me, I personally do not know, honestly, and I know some people might disagree with me on this. I don't know if Gift Orban is ready for the German Bundesliga. I said this before he joined Lyon. People disagreed with me. I watch this guy play a lot. I watch him play every week. Well, now not every week because he does not play. But in Ghent, I was watching him every week. I honestly don't know if he is ready for the German Bundesliga. He is still a very raw player. I'm not even talking about personality. I'm not even talking about behavior, discipline, all those other things. I'm just talking about ability. He's still a very raw player. TSG Hoffenheim is also a struggling club. They are fighting relegation. chances are going to be hard to come by. If you watched Orban at Ghent, you know that Orban needs multiple chances to score. He's like Nicholas Jackson. If you don't give him 5 chances in a game, he's not going to score. But then again, he used to score incredible goals, so people will see the highlights and they were saying so much. So I really hope that his team were being very strategic and intentional about this and not just chasing a long contract to make more commission or whatever the case may be. Because it will be sad if he doesn't do well at Hoffenheim. If he doesn't do well at Hoffenheim, people might give up. Not completely give up, but he might not be able to, a top 5 league team might not be coming for him again if he doesn't do well at Hoffenheim. So I really, really hope that they thought it through. I hope that whatever the Hoffenheim project was, they really explained it to them and, they felt like, okay, this was a project that was worth it, and made sense for him. I don't want him to go down to the second Bundesliga. They are there's a good chance they get relegated. I don't want him to go down to the second Bundesliga, even though I think he would do well in the second Bundesliga, but I don't want him to go down. So I wish him all the best, but I think this move is a critical move for his future. This is a boy that they were talking about him joining Arsenal some just 2 seasons ago. Okay. We were talking about Premier League. Remember, you were talking about Spurs just 2 seasons ago. So this is a very, very critical move for him. This move can be a make or break move. But yes, your thoughts on Gift Urban's move to Hoffenheim?
So for me, I think that it is like, I hate to say it, but it's like the semi-final chance, for him to actually to break through in the European big leagues. Because for a player to move from Lyon and still, the Bundesliga when you didn't do well in Lyon, it's just like, you just trying to get a second chance. But for me, I think with the right attitude, Gift Urban will learn from what happened in Lyon and perform well in Hoffenheim. The good thing is that he's playing in Hoffenheim. There'll be less pressure. Lyon, they are like perennial achievers in what's it called? In France. They expect them to win, until PSG, the big money, came to the league and started winning everything. Lyon used to be the big boys of the French league before. And the France they believe that if you are in Lyon, you must deliver. So I think the pressure should what even got to him. But in Hoffenheim, the highest the normally finishes the 6th position or so. They normally play the Europa or the Conference League. So the pressure is actually what is less for him. So I think that the lessons from those those misses in Lyon can actually already propel him to do better here. For me, if he ends the season by scoring 10 goals, it's a good performance. And I can see that, sometimes, Orban works in a way that something can just happen in a game. He can score 4 goals. You never know. He bites him like that. And sometimes it can happen in a game that he can miss like countless of opportunities and get taken off in half time. Things, it's just to tell you about the rawness to his game. But for me, I think he's going to develop well in Bundesliga and he's going to still do well. For me, I think that he will not get relegated with this team. And, this season might still be like rough patches, but when he goes to the preseason with Hoffenheim and he comes back next season, I think we'll be talking about him more, in the German Bundesliga for the right reasons. Yes.
All right. Wish him all the very best. Somebody's saying he should work on his discipline. I don't want to get into conversations about player discipline. Let me see. Okay, another confirmed transfer that happened this past week. A Super Eagles player. I'm talking about a player that is highly, highly criticized by Nigerian fans. Sadiq Umar. Sadiq Umar has joined Valencia CF in the Spanish La Liga on a 6-month loan with an option to buy from Real Sociedad. As we're speaking, he's on the field for them actually, as they're playing against El Dens. Came off the bench in that Copa del Rey match. But yes, Smith Layi, what do you think about this move? How do you think this move can potentially be of benefit to Sadiq Umar?
It's also similar to Gift Urban's move. It's another chance for him to thrive in the Spanish La Liga. So don't forget that Spain has been home for Sadiq Umar for the past 4 years or so. Is it 4 years or so? So it's another chance for him to thrive. For me, when he got the move from Almeria to Sociedad, I was thinking that it might not be the right move for him now. I think there was a move to Sevilla. I was just thinking that to say that to go and replace Isak might not be the right move for him. And unfortunately for him, he got injured, and he didn't recover from that injury. So that was one of the things that's what really affected him. So for me, I think it's not a bad move. But one thing that we have to know here is that I don't think that he has proved himself in the European top 5 leagues before. Don't forget that when he was doing well for America, it was in the second division, and when he was doing well for Partizan Belgrade, that is out of the European top 5 leagues. So this is another test for him to do well. Sevilla, Valencia is not the Valencia of the ones we used to know. They're the Valencias that are struggling with relegation now. So for me, I think that less pressure on him too. Let him get. I don't know, maybe it's a low move. Is it a low move?
It's a loan move with an option to buy.
So maybe if you get a couple of goals, get his confidence back with Valencia, even if they get relegated, I think he can still do well, for Sociedad. But he needs to get game time and he needs to perform well for Valencia in the league. Yeah.
I would say it's definitely another opportunity for him. The difference I would say between him and Orban is that he suffered from an injury. Unfortunate incident that happened to him after having a fantastic season, suffered from the injury, and is now on his, way back. Unfortunately, his minutes have been limited versus, somebody who has been fit and things just didn't go well for him. So I think his only case is a bit different, but I'm really hoping that he can revive his career at Valencia. Of course, Valencia is struggling in the league, so they need goals, and that's why they brought him. He also is in a relegation battle. He's also playing for a team that might not necessarily have too many chances. So I hope that things go well, and I'm wishing him all the best. Again, I'll keep saying this. You guys, I know that many of you guys are not regulars on our show, but we have a running order. We will talk about the Super Eagles coach. It is coming very, very shortly.
I can see you are smiling. Yeah,
I know that that's what everybody wants to hear about, but we have to run through the show. We have to talk about everything. We cannot just talk about it alone. And we're about to get there. So this is my final call for anybody that is tuned in on Instagram. Please switch over to YouTube now, or you are going to miss the entire conversation about Eric Chelle as the new Super Eagles head coach. If you are watching on YouTube, please like, share so that more people can tune in, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. If you are watching on Instagram, switch over to YouTube now, because we are about to switch topics, and if you don't go to YouTube, you are going to miss the entire conversation because the stream is ending on Instagram in 2 minutes. Okay. Very, very quickly, let me take one more transfer. This transfer is a transfer of a Super Eagles, Super Falcons player, a player that I personally like a lot, a player that I personally have been supporting for a few years now, since she came into the forefront, and she has now signed her first professional deal, joining Washington Spirit in the USA NWS. I'm talking about Deborah Abiodun. She has joined Washington Spirit on a deal until 2027, and of course, it includes an option for a further year. This comes after 2 years of football with Pittsburgh Panthers. So she doesn't have a degree yet. She did not finish school, but at least she was able to get that education, she was able to get that exposure, and no doubt, without an iota of doubt, playing in the US college system and doing well is what has helped her get a move to Washington Spirit. Washington Spirit are coached by Hiraldes, the former Barcelona women's coach, the coach that Super Zio Shwala scored all those million goals under him. So she has a good coach, she has a good team, lots of young players in the team. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do. So Smith Layi, what are your thoughts on this move, Deborah Abiodun to Washington Spirit?
I was also expecting this move too, but when she actually moved to this Washington Spirit, I was like, oh, that's actually very nice. I want her to develop very well too, in the in the league, in the WSL, so that in NWSL, so that it can actually improve more. Fantastic player, similar to it's a player that I really watched from the under 20 days, and I was really pleased the way she actually was developed, especially under Randy Wardrum. What also makes this thing very interesting for me is that she's going to be playing alongside Andy Sullivan. I know maybe you know Sullivan, Andy Sullivan, the Washington Spirit, and I think she can learn from her, develop more as a player, from her before she actually would leave that place. Maybe probably would make the big moves across the Atlantic Ocean, to Europe. So for me, very, very big move for her, and I'm happy that at the end of the day, she signed a big for your contract, and that's actually what massive for her, and even good for Nigeria too.
No, and I'm also wondering how much of an influence did Randy Waldrum's departure from the Super Falcons play in her decision to leave college? I don't know, because Randy Waldrum was the one that encouraged her to go through the college path. Was playing under him at Pittsburgh and also playing under him for the Super Falcons. But Randy Waldrum is no longer involved in the Super Falcons.
Yeah.
I wonder if, maybe she was like, maybe the next coach now is not going to be looking at me in college like that and be calling me or something, and she's like, I need to be playing professionally. I don't know if that influenced her at all.
Maybe that actually what influenced that, but Ostemadugu called her against Cape Verde, during the AFCON qualifiers, and she was the man of the match, in that game that they won by 6-1 or so in Abuja. So for me, I think that Ostemadugu is going. Okay, we're gonna get there actually, but that's one of the worst kept secrets, but I know it's going to be part of the team. But I think that that one could also influence her decision. Maybe more money too, I don't know. Maybe that one could also be part of it.
I mean, money is definitely a factor. In college, you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid.
Yeah. That's it. So money can also be a factor. Yes.
Okay. And I don't know if she had any like NIL deals in college as well. So yeah, she probably wasn't making good money in college. I mean, she made her 60K from playing in the World Cup. 60K for a college student. 60K goes a long way for a college student.
Yeah.
But all the same, I don't know if that was an influence, but it will be interesting to know. Okay, so speaking about Justin Madugu and speaking about the Super Falcons, let's just talk about him very, very quickly, and then we'll switch over. I know everybody's waiting for us to switch over. So Justin Madugu looks like he is going to be the coach to lead the Super Falcons to the WAFCON in the summer. We saw Amaju Pinnick on Channels TV with us, Nokun Akpan and Cecilia Morogbe. And when they asked him about it, he could not really give us a definite answer. We haven't heard news about the NFF going to look for a coach. We've been hearing about the Super Eagles coach, and they are looking for somebody, they're talking to people. But for the Super Falcons, we haven't been hearing this. How do you feel about this? It's still technically an interim head coach, but they're not talking about anybody else. So how do you feel about the potential of Justin Madugu taking us to the AFCON?
For me, it's just I don't know how to feel about it, but let me just put it this way: it's just that they prioritize the Super Eagles coaching job more than the Falcons coaching job, and I will give you the evidence. If during the interview, with Amaju Pinnick, he said something that your priority, Super Eagles want to go to the World Cup priority, but he now reversed back and said, I always prioritize Falcons too. They want so many, but you can know that clearly that the NFF actually was prioritizing, Super Eagles coaching job than focusing on the Falcons coaching job now. So for me, I don't know how to feel about it, but I was not impressed with the second game against Algeria. Despite that they won by 4-1. There's some things that you just see that is lacking in that game. I spoke to a Super Falcons player. He sent me so many voice notes. I said, okay, that he should give the man the opportunity. That he listened to me, he listened to me, and he knew my opinion about Ostemadugu. Say, we give this man the opportunity that the man can do well. So, and I think the NFF too, they're trying to see what it can do in this AFCON. So, if it didn't perform well in this AFCON, the next WAFCON will be the qualifier to the next World Cup in Brazil. The NFF will not gamble that, with Madugu if he didn't do well in this AFCON. So because there's really nothing at stake in this WAFCON in Morocco, that's the reason why Austin Madugu will be in charge.
Nothing at stake except pride.
Yes, nothing. Yes, nothing. Okay, so nothing. Something. What cup is at stake? But we are going for La Decima. But
see, again, I will say this. Shame on the NFF. I'm sorry. I know that I've stopped talking about you guys. But shame on the NFF, shame on the NFF social media team, shame on the people that project our football from within the NFF. Because once January came like this, let's do it again. They are talking about it. AFCON, this is blah, blah, blah. AFCON is in December. The WAFCON is in July. Then why are they not making even half of the noise? Is there a campaign? Are they posting about it? Are they gingering us? Are they getting us excited? But Nigeria, let's do it again. Like Super Eagles is not the only team that we have. Amaju Pinnick was on channels talking about how during his time they always prioritize the Super Falcons. That's a big lie. I'm very close to the Super Falcons. I'm very close to several players on the team. Prioritize. Let's be serious here. Is priority putting them on public transport when they go to that? Somebody is coming to be abusing them on bus. Is priority owing them money every single time, taking them to the World Cup and doing nonsense, or taking them to the WAFCON and they're having to go on strike before a match against Zambia? Is that prioritization? Now, same thing is happening again under this new worse administration. WAFCON here is almost like nothing is happening. That's the reason why Super Falcons play games in Nigeria. Stadium is empty. Maybe 100, maybe 1,000 people. Let me be generous. It's so shameful, the lack of attention that the Super Falcons get. It is so shameful. We talk about, or they talk about, how there is no money. How are you going to make money if you don't market your teams? How are you going to make money? Any sponsor of the NFF is doing it as charity, is doing it as CSR. That's the reality. There is no return because the NFF will do little to nothing to even market your brand for you. They will do little to nothing to promote the national team. That's the reason why even when Super Eagles are playing, they have to throw the gates open because they don't market the game enough to actually make people want to spend even 1,000 naira to watch the game. No match day experience, nothing. I love the Super Falcons so much. So things like this pain me. Super Falcons always just get the very, very bare minimum, but they are the most successful national team. They are the ones that go to the Olympics. They are the ones that perform better at the World Cup, or at least even go to the World Cup. The Super Eagles are not even, they haven't gone to the World Cup in the last one. They did not go. This one, we're praying to God that somehow Eric Chelle, Waterman, can fix it. So see, I'm shame on the NFF, man. Shame on what they are doing. Prioritize these ladies. Women's football is growing. Yes, I know they probably don't make as much money as the Super Eagles do. Yes, I know. Nobody is saying give them the exact same treatment. That one is a fight that the Oyimbos are fighting. We are not fighting with that fight yet. But just give them what they need. Give them attention. Make them feel like they are of value. Again, the decision not to hire a coach for them is also another sign that you don't value them as much. But no, Super Eagles World Cup qualification is non-negotiable. We must find somebody. But for them, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We'll see what we can do about it. The lackadaisical nature is very, 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 very shameful. Very, very, very painful as well as a fan of Super Falcons. And I know, because I speak to many players, I know that the players are very unhappy about it. They cannot talk because they are still, if they talk, they'll blackball them now. But it's shameful. It's shame on the NFF, shame on their media department, shame on their marketing team. If they cannot market the Super Falcons as well, and they think everything has to be about the Super Eagles, shame on them. Let's move on.
Yes.
Let's move on. Stream is ending now on Instagram. Switch over to YouTube. Let us talk about the Super Eagles. Okay. Let's get into it. I initially was like, should we take Chan or should we skip Chan and just go into Super Eagles?
Let's just go Chan quickly. That's okay. Just give on the audience.
Let's do Chan very, very quickly. So the head coach of the Chan team is Daniel Ogumodede, also the coach of Remo Stars. And he has announced a 26-man list for camp. Sadiq Ismail headlines the squad, even though Ismail, we're not too sure if he's going to move or not, whether he's going to be able to feature. Certain players like Atule are not included, which some people have spoken about. But Smith, your thoughts on this one?
So for me, you soon to be dethroned the head coach of the national of the Chan team, because according to Ibrahim Gusso, the NFF president, said that the new Super Eagles coach will handle the Chan team. So that makes it a lot even more trickier, for him by himself. But how can somebody perform so well in the qualifiers and you say that the job is even it's already in camp? They're already in camp today. And you say that you want to bring in a new coach to take them, in just less than 1 month to Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. I think he got it wrong in that press conference, when Ashworth mentioned that for me. So, and Ashworth, all these players, these are like trusted allies too, but I'm happy that he brought in Nuruddin Badmos from Kwara United. In my opinion, he's one of the best goalkeeper in the league. I don't know the reason why Kadimangole is actually what the reserve choice. I think that Nuruddin Badmos, is as confident as Henry Ozodema, of Enyimba. And I'm also happy that he's also trying to bring a Tentoka Vincent, of United. He was part of the team, but he did not feature in those 2 games against Ghana. So let's see what he actually will do with the team. There's some decent players in this team, but I think that really actually what caught my eye. If I Bushi from Rangers, it was with Ileshiku when he was in United, and they are still working together now in Rangers. A fantastic player. Let's just see exactly what they can actually do. But as you expect, as you predict, I think most of the players that play the qualifiers are the ones they call to camp. So I'm also hearing that there could be disruption in that camp because about 3 players might be moving to Europe. They have to come off Raymond Stars. Ismail Sadiq mentioned that earlier of Raymond Stars too, and also Papa Daniel. The exciting Papa Daniel of Niger Tornadoes can also be traveling abroad. But they're just trying to tell them that if those moves did not materialize, these guys can come to Chan because if you play Chan now, you can even get better money. Perform well in Chan tournament. So I'm also appealing to the coach now. It's not too late to invite Atule. There's no winger in that Chan team. There's no that for me, Adam Abaka is a winger, but it's not direct like Atule. Atule did well for Lobby Stars, so doing well for Enyimba. So for me, with that game against Black Bull, I think Atule already played himself to the new Chan team, and Atule will do well. So I think Atule should be invited to the national team. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I have no opinion on this honestly, so I'll just move forward. Somebody said, "Why did you call him Waterman?" I really don't like that. If we don't like or believe in him, we should channel that to the NFF, not to him. He is with us now. He deserves our support. I've not said whether I like him or not. Again, Bananas goes. Thank you for tuning in. I don't know your name, so you're obviously not somebody that tunes in every week. I'm not taking offense to that, but we banter on this show. We banter ourselves, we banter players, we banter coaches. I did not say I don't believe in him. I did not say anything. It's a joke that I'm still going to make later again. So don't take offense. I'm still like, that is the thing that the man is most known for. So it's a joke. It's a joke. But yes, let us get into it. This is what everybody has been waiting for. This is what everybody has been wanting to know. The Super Eagles now have a head coach, and his name is Eric Chelle, 47-year-old Malian. Well, French Malian international, and of course, the former head coach of the Mali national team. He's the one that beat us when Mali played against us in March 2-0. He beat us. He took Mali to the AFCON in 2024, January of 2024, and I believe they nearly got to the semifinals, but unfortunately they fell to a defeat. He has now been named as the head coach of the Super Eagles. Let me just quickly read the statements that the NFF put out, and then we'll comment on it, and then we'll talk about the coach, and we'll really deep dive into the conversation. The statement from the NFF reads: the Executive Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation has endorsed the recommendation of its Technical and Development Subcommittee for the appointment of Mr. Eric Sekou Chelle as head coach of Nigeria's senior men national team, Super Eagles. At its meeting held in Abuja on Thursday, 2nd of January 2025, the NFF Technical and Development Subcommittee had recommended the appointment of former coach of the senior men national team of Mali as the new head coach of the Super Eagles. This recommendation was on Tuesday, January 7th, endorsed by the NFF Executive Committee. Chelle, who won 5 caps for the Aiglons of Mali and coached clubs such as GS Consulat, FC Matix, Boulogne, and MC Oran, has been head coach of the Aiglons since 2022. At the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations finals in Cote d'Ivoire, Chelle's Mali came very close to a place in the semi-finals, losing to host and eventual winners Cote d'Ivoire 2-1 after extra time, after leading by a lone goal until the final minutes of regulation time. The 47-year-old featured for Matix, Valenciennes, Lens, Istres, and Chamois Note. I'm not French. I don't speak French, sorry. In France during his playing career. His appointment is with immediate effect, and he has the responsibility of guiding the Super Eagles to earn a ticket to the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals, with the next round of matches taking place in March. That is the official statement of the NFF on the appointment of Eric Chelle as the Super Eagles head coach. Now, I'll just highlight some things that I noticed reading this statement. The one that is most obvious, there is no timeline given as to the length of his contract. Is it 6 months? Is it until end of World Cup qualifiers? Is it 1 year? No timeline given. They tell us that his objective is to qualify us, but they don't say how long the contract is. Maybe we'll find out later. But in this statement, no mention of the length of his contract. They also give us his whole rundown of his history. But I also feel like, they are trying to convince us through this statement that he is a good coach, because the way they're explaining to us about how he nearly took the host, how he nearly took Mali to the semi-finals. They were leading until the final minute of stoppage time. These are not things that you typically get in an official announcement statement. Why are you giving us a match report? I understand that you will tell us the coach's history, you give us the coach's resume. I understand that, but you are giving us match reports when you're telling us the specifics about, they were leading for 90 minutes, they equalized them in 90th minutes. It sounds like you're trying to convince us a little bit. And ultimately, they said he takes over with immediate effect, so he's the head coach ASAP. Smith Layi, what is your initial reaction to this appointment? Eric Chelle as the Super Eagles head coach.
I don't know. I wasn't shocked because if you check my story, I posted it this afternoon when I just put without any caption there. I just left it. For me, when the NFF tells you these beautiful stories about bringing a coach, expert grade, we know exactly what they're trying to do. This is the exciting man they are trying to bring. So, and for me, I don't know. I think it's a mixed feeling for me. I just, I know he's a very good coach. I know he's a very good coach, but the working condition is one of the problems that I think that he might probably would have issues with. So, when we go to how can he affect the Super Eagles, we dive deep into what we expect from him. For me, my initial reaction is that I don't know, it's mixed feeling. I know that he's going to qualify Nigeria for the World Cup, but it's just that he's going very, very rough patch here.
Okay. I would say for me, my initial reaction is, I don't know if I'm happy. I don't know if I'm sad. I'm like, okay, this guy is a decent coach. He's a decent coach. He did well at the AFCON with Mali. He beat us. He has a little bit of pedigree. But you promised us, in your own words, an enterprising coach. Is Eric Chelle enterprising? So there's this thing that this thing that I always believe in. It's better to under-promise and over-deliver than to under-deliver after you've over-promised. You've made us feel like, even though I don't know how many people actually believed you, but we've made us feel like we're going to get a top coach. Ultimately, with all due respect to him, again, this doesn't mean he's not a good coach. You've got us a coach with a very limited CV. Very, very limited CV. The clubs that he has coached are not clubs worthy of note. MC Oran is probably the most noteworthy club there. He coached Mali. He did a good job. 22 games for Mali, 14 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses. Fantastic output. I will give him credit for that. He even beat us. But is that all it takes to be the Super Eagles head coach? I just feel like the Super Eagles head coach should be harder to get. How bad are things that no good coach can coach us? How bad are we financially that we cannot afford to pay any decent coach? I don't know. I've said this thing on live before, and I always like to keep my words as straight as possible. I don't like to be wishy-washy, flip-floppy. I'm a fan of winners. I don't even necessarily care whether you are some big name. I am a fan of winners. I want to see that you've won something before, and it gives me confidence that you can win something again. Especially when you're playing for coaching a team like Nigeria, Super Eagles. We now have a coach that has never won anything in his career. As a player, he didn't win anything. As a coach, he has not won anything. I don't know how I feel about that. Now, do I think he's a good coach? I think he's a decent coach, yes. I also think that he has the quality to qualify us for the World Cup. I fully believe that he has the quality. I just fear that we're not necessarily progressing at the rates that we should progress. In summary, I think he is better than Osine Guavon, but I think he is worse than Jose Peseiro. I think he's better than Osine Guavon, but I think he is worse than Jose Peseiro. So did we really take steps forward? I don't know. Smith Layi, I'll throw this back at you. You know, we can't do anything now. We have to support the coach. A lot of people are watching us, are wondering, what exactly can we expect from Eric Chelle? What kind of coach is he? How does he like to play? Is he still going to be calling players that don't deserve it? You know, what can you tell us about Eric Chelle and what we can expect?
So let me just go to, you know, before I go to the what to expect from him, I'll just tell you something that I think somehow is destined for Eric Chelle to coach the Super Eagles of Nigeria. If you anywhere you see Nigeria playing games, you playing friendly games, you always see Mali around it. You know, I remember when we went to Algeria to play. I think we lost by 2-1 or so. I mean, we lost that game or when we withdrew. You know, Mali was also played against Algeria. You know, they drew 1-1 also with Algeria. Then when we went to go and play Saudi Arabia, who was the second team that Mali played? Saudi Arabia played was Mali. When we were in Morocco, they were also in Morocco with us. I was also hearing that you know, the man himself, you know, the former NFL president, spoke to him during the AFCON in Ivory Coast. So it's like there is this relationship there already that you know that this guy is just like the worst kept secret. You know, that eventually he's going to be the national team manager. So, but for me, I'm going to just disagree with you on some areas. One, I think it's better than Fini the Judge. It's better than Osine Guavon and also better than Jose Peseiro. And I will tell you the reasons why. You know, anytime you see him, anywhere you see Peseiro even fail, you know, you will see him thrive. You know, I remember the game we played against Saudi Arabia. You know, it wasn't a very bad game for Nigeria, but I saw the way Mali took Saudi Arabia to the cleaners, you know, in that friendly game. When I saw the brand of football that Mali played, despite their limited attacking talent, I just realized that the coach is doing something. If you also see the quarterfinal game between Mali against Ivory Coast, you will realize that compared to the Ivory Coast we played in the final and the one they actually will play, they did better than us. In fact, if we lost the way Mali lost, we'll still be happy that we gave it all. You know, they gave it all against Ivory Coast. And they nearly won that game. Nearly is not.
Nearly won AFCON.
It doesn't kill a bet. But the issue basically is that they played the brand of football that even their fans will be happy.
See, let me interrupt you there, because you are like, see, so far I'm hearing your argument so far, and I'm not agreeing with it, because we're talking about brand of football, style of play. They played a fantastic style. Nigerians, we focus so much on style and we ignore results. Even somebody here is saying Peseiro is not that good apart from AFCON. He called it a stunt. Somebody got to the final, we call it a stunt. Fine, because we don't like the style. Style of play does not mean anything if you do not get results. That's the reality. We might look at it and say Mali is not as talented as Nigeria. I fully agree. But Mali, they've also had certain results that you think they should do better. Certain games that they are playing against a team like Eswatini. You expect them to beat Eswatini properly. They are struggling to win 1-0. This way we are beating Libya 1-0. So for me, I understand that he likes to play a more expansive style of play. Even Jose Peseiro, when he got the job, he wanted to play a more expansive style of play. His plan was not to go and defend. He learned
He
it
learned
in
in
a
a
hard
hard
way
way.
exactly because of the players, and the players were just underperforming.
Mhm.
So for me, I don't necessarily look at brand of play as a reason to say, oh, he's better, because Jose Mourinho doesn't play a nice brand of football. We all know this. Does it mean that Nuno Espirito Santo is better than Mourinho, or does it mean that Marco Silva is better than Mourinho, or does it mean that Enzo Maresca is better than Mourinho because Maresca likes to play fantastic football? So for me, I don't really agree on brand, but I'll let you continue.
Okay, so I just think that the reason why I focused on brand was that there is this champagne. He likes to play this champagne style of football, that very compact, but he still look for a way to actually want to hurt you. I know that what happened against Ivory Coast might probably be like a rush of blood, but I just think that he nearly got it right, but nearly doesn't get the bet. We know that. But I just look at this Eric Chelle very well, and I'm going to actually point to the way he plays. He likes to play in a 4-3-1-2 formation. A 4-3-1-2 formation can turn to a 3-5-2 formation. And he likes to play with like a 3 central midfielders, with 1 attacking midfielder in front of it. So those Nigerians that say, oh, our wingers, please, Eric Chelle does not like to go that route, except he's chasing the game and he now needs to play like a 4-4-2. So I just think that he likes to have more legs in the midfield. And I think that's one of the problems we actually were lacking in our national team. So, and when I was hearing that the way when I looked at the way he played against South Africa in the first game during the AFCON, and I look at the game against Burkina Faso and against Ivory Coast, I just realized that with a better player, with due respect to the Malian players, you cannot say Sinyanyoko is Victor Osimhen, with due respect. You cannot say the boy that played for RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, is actually what Ademola Lookman, with due respect. Even you cannot say Busoma is Alex Iwobi, with due respect. I'm just thinking that
They play different
this thing. Yeah, I know. So for me, I just think that with better players and with free hand to work, I think that Eric Chelle can actually do well for Nigeria. I think his style that he's going to bring is going to favor us this time around that we want to qualify. It's going to favor Nigeria this time around that we want to qualify. So for me, I think they got it right in the wrong way.
Okay, let me jump back into this now. Yeah. So first, now I'll say again, I see a lot of people are still talking about what I said. I still don't think he's better than Jose Peseiro. Reason being, the easiest one is to go and check their CVs. That's the easiest one. Maybe you'll say, oh, Peseiro is older, he has coached for longer. That's the reason why he has a better CV. If you want to say that, I would disagree, but I would even allow you and say, okay, we talk about style of play again. I don't really rate a style of play argument when it comes to the quality of coaches, because a good coach should be able to adapt his style depending on the players he has, depending on the circumstances. Look at Ruben Amorim. That's the reason why he's struggling at Man U, because he has not found a way to realize that the players he has are not that great for the style of play that he wants to play, and he needs to change his style to fit the players that he has, and that's the reason why they are struggling. They are still quality players. They are still having good results against Liverpool, against Man City, but overall things are not going well because he's trying to force the players to play a style that they cannot play. And a good coach needs to be able to adapt. Like I said, Jose Peseiro, when he joined Nigeria, wanted to play a more expansive style of play. He learned the hard way. He saw his defense and his goalkeeper giving teams goals, just dashing teams goals. Head goes down all of a sudden. And he realized it, that he needs to start defending and needs to build a solid foundation and then take our chances and try to score. Again, some people might say, oh, but we're only winning games 1-0, 1-1. That's because Osimhen is missing chances. That's because our players are missing. Like, let's be realistic. Most of the games that we narrowly won at the AFCON, if Osimhen had taken 1 or 2 of the chances he got, we would have scored more. The results would have looked better. The same Eric Chelle now. Okay, we want to talk about how his team outplayed Ivory Coast in that quarterfinal. They outplayed Ivory Coast. But that same team struggled in their group to draw against Namibia. That same team struggled in their group to draw against Tunisia. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he will not do well. Oh. I'm not saying he will not do well. But the proof is not in the pudding. There is no evidence per se. Smith Layi, I want us to do a later video where we'll really deep dive and we'll pick videos from Mali's game, do a proper tactical breakdown. We'll do that later. But so far, there is like the proof is not in the pudding. People like to pick on Jose Peseiro and talk about how he started. They ignore how he finished. Eric Chelle, how did he finish at Mali? Lost against Ghana. Somebody is losing to Ghana in this. What?
You continue. I have an opinion about that.
Did he lose or did he not lose?
He lost, but I have an opinion about that.
I'm just saying, lost against Ghana, then drew against 10-man Madagascar. Madagascar got red card in 16 minutes. They played a goalless draw against the Madagascar team. That's how he lost the job before this Belgian man took over.
Okay.
So for me, again, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I honestly do believe that Eric Chelle has what it takes to qualify us to the World Cup. I strongly believe that. With him and the players all sitting up, all knowing what they need to do, I strongly believe that he can qualify us to the World Cup. But what I'm just saying is that the proof is not in the pudding. The evidence is not staring us in the face. The only thing that we can hang on to is that we like his style of play. There is nothing to show that he has had success in the past because he has literally won nothing in his career. There is nothing to show that he will have success in the future. We are taking a gamble. That's what it is. An educated gamble, you gamble responsibly, but it is a gamble. What do you want to say to the Ghana one?
No, for me, I just think that after they lost against Ivory Coast, the pressure was on. I want to lie to you, and
we saw how hot it was that
day. The pressure was on, and I think that some of the area, I think it lost the dressing room sometimes, so it was not the house in order before the Mali game. I had the pleasure to speak to Mali officials during the Olympic Games, and in all honesty, what the man told me, I'm going to tell you now. He told me that was the coach of the under-23. He told me that he is a very good tactician.
Even Ekong said Guavo is a very good tactician now.
No. This man, this man was after his job. So I don't want to. It was after his job. So for you to acknowledge these things, he was a very good tactician. But he said that sometimes it just because of this youthful, this thing, he get it wrong at the right moment. For example, now against Ivory Coast, he made the wrong substitution. He was fully excited because they were dominating the game. Everything was fine. Rush of blood against Ghana too. They considered last minute and rush of blood. So for me, I think maybe they have a lot of water in Algeria because he should cool his head very well this before coming to Uyo, because the water in Uyo is acid rain. It's not ordinary water. So for me, I just think that after that AFCON, I think he lost his mojo slightly. But if you have checked his game very well, the problem you normally have, sometimes is that Mali doesn't have the attacking power. If you look at the way they score the goals, Imani Shinyanyoko, Diabate, all those, they don't have strikers to put the ball at the back of the net. Mali are blessed with midfielders. But I think that with his style does not suit Mali, but his style suits us more than Mali. That's why I put it that way.
Okay. Just let me, for anybody that might be, you are hearing Eric Chelle, you are hearing Smith Layi talk about water. Maybe you are a little bit unfamiliar and you are a little bit confused. This is what we're talking about. So yes, that's our head coach. That's the reason why I said Waterman in the beginning. That's the reason why Smith Layi is referencing water, because he was the coach that was, that needed his head to be cooled. At the AFCON, that video went viral. Everybody saw it. Let me just take some comments very quickly. Kim Lu says, Ayo, if Mali met Nigeria at the AFCON, they would have flogged us. My response to that, Kim Lu, is if I were light-skinned, I would be a millionaire. You cannot prove it. This person says this guy will beat Pesero Blue Black. He's an attacking force. So why didn't he beat Ghana Blue Black? Why didn't he beat Madagascar Blue Black? Why didn't he beat Namibia Blue Black? Why didn't he beat Tunisia Blue Black? Again, this is a random assumption that you're making. I'm not dealing in hypotheticals. I'm dealing in real life and what has happened and what we can see, not hypotheticals. Let me see. AB says, to me, seems to perform like the AFCON due to players than coach input. This is as wrong a statement as you can make. It was not, you cannot, how can, like, this is like a statement that somebody that doesn't watch football will make. Because the coach is obviously the one that sets the team up the way that he sets the team up. The coach is obviously the one that made us as compact as we were. So to put it on players and not give the coach credit is so disingenuous. It is so disingenuous. Again, we are talking about if but oh, he nearly beat Ivory Coast. Oh, he nearly beats this one. Pesero nearly beat Ivory Coast as well, if we're using nearly. But somehow we don't give Pesero credit for nearly beating, but we give somebody else credit for nearly doing half of what Pesero did. I don't get it. Again, I'm not trying to knock the coach, but I don't get that argument. I don't get that argument. Segodi is a South African, says Eric Chelle was very lucky against South Africa. He was supposed to be 3-0 before halftime. South Africa lacked striker, to be honest. That's a South African perspective.
Suppose.
But again, we're still talking about hypotheticals. I like to focus on real life. Somebody says, who knew Pesero before he coached Nigeria? Someone asked us going to the World Cup. Again, you did not know him. Does not mean that he was not existing and does not mean that he was not doing well. I don't want to read through Pesero's CV because it's not a conversation about Pesero, but you can look it up online. Pesero has had success in his career. You can look it up online. Yara Mede says that game he didn't play with a full team. Did Pesero or did Guavon or did Finidi always have a full team? But we don't give it as excuses for them, but we want to give it as an excuse for somebody else. Okay. Olu says, yeah, you're right. We didn't take some of our chances at AFCON. Pesero ended well though. Kimlu says, how can you say there's no proof in the pudding? He has a playing pattern. Pesero did not. Again, a very, very false statement. Pesero obviously had a playing pattern. You might not have liked the pattern. You might have thought it was a negative pattern, but there was obviously a pattern. So somebody is attacking. Maybe you prefer attacking coaches. Fine. Everybody has an opinion. Some people like defensive coaches. Fine. But you cannot say he did not have a pattern. He did. Ikechukwu says, Pesero self no get proof. Again, I reference his CV. Go and look at his CV. Go and look at what he had achieved before he joined Nigeria. Go and look at where he had coached before he joined Nigeria. Go and look at what he had won, what he had achieved before he joined Nigeria. And then also look at what he achieved with Nigeria, taking us to the AFCON final for the first time since 2013. But again, fine. Marvin says, what has Pesero won as a coach? Again, go back to his CV. AB says, Ayo, in Chelle or Pesero, who would you employ to coach your team? Now, here's the interesting thing. This question, I'll probably choose Chelle. Because I like his style. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't choose him. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I like his style. So if he's my team, I'll probably choose him. I was only referencing the fact that I do not think he is a better coach. I would choose Maresca over Mourinho to coach my team. But I do not think that Maresca is a quarter of the coach that Mourinho is. So it's not about who I would choose per se. That's what I'm saying. Smith Layi, does Eric Chelle speak English? Do you know?
Yeah, he speaks, but
I did watch him do an interview. He speaks English.
Yeah, in a smattering way, not really.
Yeah, not perfect English, but he does speak English. If he says, don't worry, AyoT, we have enough cold Swan bottled water. I don't think in Nigeria now pure water they go use it. They're not go in this economy. You cannot be wasting bottled water on coach head though. Now pure water just be squirting it on his head when things are tough. Olu says, can he work with our players? That's what I'm not sure of. I would say I don't see any reason why he cannot work with our players. He's going to have to earn their trust because he's a low reputation manager. And then when you're coming into a team with big egos, with players that are coaching abroad, the biggest place you've coached is in South Africa. You have these players that have coached, that have played for top teams in Europe, Premier League, La Liga, all these kind of places. You have to earn their trust. I don't know if you guys have seen, there was this video of Anna Slot, his first day at Liverpool, when all the players were just eyeing him, and the man went to go and sit alone. And now, obviously, he has earned and has proven himself that he's a quality coach. So it's the same thing that I think is going to happen to Chelle. The players are going to be side eyeing him in the beginning, like, who is this guy? Is he better than some people might be thinking that, should we not just have kept the Guavon? I saw somebody that commented on our Instagram page that said, why did we leave our own to go and hire another African? So there's going to be people that are going to be side eyeing him. Some people are not going to be happy about it. But for me, I definitely think that he can work with our players. I think that, he needs to earn their trust, but he can. Smith Layi, do you want to answer this question?
Yeah, I think that it's a guy that he does not, he's Malian, but don't forget, he wasn't born in Mali. He doesn't even live in Mali.
Yes, he's French Malian, yeah.
He's a French Malian, He just like say, the mentality is different. Let me just give you an example. The biggest player in Mali is Bissouma. He kept him on the bench. See, he's a guy. So I'm not presuming anything though. But if you're not performing for him, or you don't suit the style he wants to play, you sit on the bench. You get it? So it's not. In fact, when he left, Bissouma and co, they still wanted him to stay because they trusted some things in what he actually did. So some don't want to, but at least most of them wanted him to stay. And I can tell you that Mali wanted him to continue as their coach. But I think he's just so interested with Nigerian projects. He is that I can tell you, there's something I can not say on camera. I can tell you everything they did to get this job. So for me, I think he can actually and it's just for players to believe in him that he can actually give them the World Cup ticket.
And I mean, no surprise that he will move heaven and earth to get this job. This is by far the biggest job he has got in his career. So of course he would do everything. And I mean, with all due respect, coaching Mali and coaching Nigeria is a different talent pool. If you rate yourself as a coach, you would be licking your lips at the prospect of coaching Nigeria because we have quality players. It's all about how you can get them to do what you want to do. Someone says Ayo is hilarious. He won't let this matter go. He even played the video. So, see, let's be realistic here. Every time Nigeria loses a match, that video is going to go viral again. Let's be realistic. If we ever lose a match like this, that video is going to go viral. So the man must be ready for it. He must be ready for it. Chiamaka says, or Chinwoke rather, says at this point, no right or wrong about him can coexist until we see evidence of the first few games. Fingers crossed. Let's not overthink it. I would agree with Chinwoke. We cannot say whether or not he will do well. We have to see the first few games, see what his idea is for Nigeria, see what he's trying to do. Is he a good coach? Yes, absolutely. I think he's a good coach. Can he qualify us for the World Cup? Yes, absolutely. I think he can. Excuse me, but we have to see how it goes. Oladipupo Ayinde says, I checked the results in MC Oran. He lost some matches recently, but let's stick to what Smith Layi has said. Nigeria got the tools to work with.
Yeah.
Adege Mayowa says, you're so confident that he'll qualify for the World Cup. That's also not factual. You're just projecting, just like those who said he will beat Pesero are projecting. I'm making a prediction. I'm not assuming random stuff. No, I'm making a prediction. I'm saying I think he can qualify us for that's not a projection of, oh, this person will beat that person. No, or this person would have won if he had these players. No, that's some random hypothetical. I'm just telling you, I think he has the quality. I don't see how that's the same thing. I don't see how you think that's the same thing. Igechuku says, which success? Talking about Pesero. Again, all you have to do is just, like, Google is, if you are here, you have data. Google is free. Just Google it and look at his CV. It's that simple. I don't know why some people try to ignore facts. Abimbola Jai says, it is all about money and someone that Cerezo or Senegwavon can control. Smilai, do you think that's true? They hired him because of the money that they are paying him and because they can control him?
No. If you think you can control him, you are sleeping. Chelle is an independent man. He's a man that we stand with his words. So if you want to be bringing player from Yefu, my brother, look at different channel. It's not going to take that one from you. Chelle, he got the job. There's one adage in my language. I won't say it because of not speaking. Those I don't speak Yoruba. So if you don't put the ring in the hand of somebody, now come and remove it. So we already have this is actually what he got the job already. So for me, I think that you can't control it. It can never be for that.
Okay, Ikechuku says if Pesaro should coach Mali, he's going to fail. Pesaro had good players in the Nigeria team. Again, random hypothetical. If and but Pesaro has coached worse teams before, so it's not like he has not coached worse teams. Just go and
he has failed, yes.
And he has failed, and he has also had
no pass, yes.
Exactly. So if and but, we're not talking about ifs. So Mayowa says, I know that Rolls Royce is better, but I'd rather pick this Camry instead. AyoT, I beg now. That's hilarious. I can't even lie. That is funny. But my response to that would be, your car would depend on the events, would depend on the terrain that you are going to navigate. If you are going to be going through rocky mountains, are you going to drive your Rolls Royce? Or will you go and drive your pickup truck? So nobody is saying a Rolls Royce is not fancy, that is not nice to have a Rolls Royce, but Rolls Royce is not the car that you are going to use for everything. You cannot drive your Rolls Royce every day. People that own Rolls Royces in Lagos, do they drive the Rolls Royce every day? So again, you pick and choose depending on your terrain. So that was actually a very funny comment. When I saw it, I chuckled, but I don't agree with it necessarily. X-Code says Nigerians have a confirmation bias when it comes to Pesaro. Honestly, Nigerians didn't like him before AFCON. Some didn't, which is true. And that's the reason why now all people want to talk about is the fact that we lost some games before the AFCON. That's all we want to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about the AFCON and how we did. Even the people that talk about the AFCON are not trying to give him credit. They want to talk about what he did before. It doesn't really fully make sense to me. Paul says Pesaro's games are very edgy. We saw what he finally did with the final match. We are not a team that should defend for 90 minutes. I agree with you. We are not a team that should defend for 90 minutes. I agree with you. That final match wasn't good. I agree with you. I don't like that. But that does not all of a sudden mean that somebody is not a good coach. Antonio Conte will defend for 90 minutes. Jose Mourinho will defend for 90 minutes. Are they not good coaches? Espirito Santo, that is having success with Nottingham Forest now. No be counter-attack football than they play. They have 30% possession in each match. About that. It's defend. Hit them on the counter with Elanga and Hudson-Odoi and Morgan Gibbs-White. Score goals. If all of a sudden things don't go well, he's a bad coach, but things are going well, he's a good coach. Isn't that life? The same as Santo failed at Tottenham, no? So again, these things is not linear. Things are just not linear. That's the reality. Things are just not that linear. Let me see. There's so many comments, man. I can't take all of them. Somebody says, I'm hoping this is not another Finidi George experiment. Smith Layi, what do you say to that?
This is not Finidi George experiment. It's Finidi George has never coached the national team before. I never coached outside the shore of the country before. This man has coached like 3 clubs before actually moving to joining Mali, and he also did well in Mali. In Mali he stayed for 2 years and his average point was 2.1 per. So for me, he won majority of his games. So Finidi George has never coached a full season there. I think it was a British Leagues, when Enyimba won the Premier League there in Nigeria. So Finidi George at national team level was a rookie. This guy is experienced. How many Nigerian coach have coached in the AFCON before?
No. And I will say this, we shouldn't be comparing him to Finidi George. The same thing I'm talking about him and Pesaro, about look at their series, look at what they've done. It's the same thing I will say about him and Finidi. He has more sample size than Finidi. He has not won anything, but he has got results far more than Finidi. There's more proof in the pudding for him than Finidi. So I wouldn't say it's another Finidi George experiment. Finidi George was just let's try our Nigerian coach. That's what Finidi George was. It was just like, let's just try and see. Whereas this is a coach that we've seen signs. Again, for me, this hiring of Eric Chelle is just like hiring Ruben Amorim to Man U. Ruben Amorim is even maybe not the greatest. It's like hiring Graham Potter to Chelsea. That's the perfect analogy. It is like when Chelsea hired Graham Potter. A coach that has done well with a smaller team, that is playing a good style of football, hasn't won anything, but you can clearly see that he has a good idea. He has done well with a smaller team, and now you are saying, okay, let's see if he can do it with a bigger team. That's what we're doing with Eric Chelle. He has done well with Mali. We know that his style of play is good. Nigerians would like it. So now let's see if he can do well with Nigeria. Let's just hope that he doesn't also learn the hard way like Pesero learned. Let's hope that he doesn't learn the hard way. I'm not resorting him to now. He'll say he has to start defending, and people will start insulting him again. Because I would again tell you guys, all of us are calling Pesero a defensive coach now. But no, Pesero, when he joined Nigeria, was not defending.
Yeah.
He only changed because things were not going his way. And World Cup qualification was looking bad. And he wanted to do well at the AFCON. That's the reason why he changed. So you never know what can happen with this coach too. But I think that Graham Potter to Chelsea example, I think, is the perfect analogy. We're hiring a coach that has had no limited success with a smaller team, has a good brand of football, and now we want to see if he can do well with Nigeria. Like I've said, I think he can do well. I think he's a good coach. I think he has the quality to do well. We just cannot say. Unfortunately, we just cannot be so confident. My confidence level is even honestly largely based on the players in our group. I just think we have quality players that have pride and want to do well and want to go to the World Cup. I also think that we can steady the ship a little bit and beat the teams in our group. And I also think that we have a decent coach. It's not a great coach, in my opinion. It's a good coach. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
Smith Layi, I want to ask you. We know about Daniel Ogumodede. We know about Fidelis Dulechukwu. Are there any other hints, rumors, talks about backroom staff for Eric Chelle?
Yeah, I think it's coming with his own backroom staff. I think those that he has worked with before. I think it's coming with a goalkeeper trainer. He's coming with a new goalkeeper trainer, not Barua this time around. He's coming with with a striker. I think it's also a striker, trainer too, with also a set piece coach. So I think it's coming. It's going to have like this very large backroom staff. So for me, I think Nlechukwu and Guma, they will be like the third and the second and the fourth assistant. So they might not even be close to him when he's actually on the bench of the Super Eagles. So for those asking about his license, he's a UEFA Pro license coach. So if you don't actually know about that, so it's going to come with his own backroom staff for NFF Studios support him with some they actually would have locally. But I think it's going to be Nlechukwu and Guma. Yes.
Let's see who he brings. Maybe the people that he worked with are Mali, just the same people. But it will be interesting to see when the backroom staff is fully set up. I hope that the NFF would make an official announcement, to let us know this is our coaching crew. You understand? Like take picture of all of them, let them line up, let's see their faces, let there be an official announcement. Let's hope. I'm also hoping that they will bring back Ebobo, who was the video analyst. They worked that man out. It was video analyst for Super Falcons, video analyst for Super Eagles. It was doing everything. Also doing timekeeper for the team. Also doing assistant coach during training. And they were still owing him salary. So, but I just hope that they bring him back to work with Eric Chelle. We talk about promoting our own. We talk about helping our own grow. Ebobo is a fantastic UEFA B licensed coach, video analyst. Let him continue growing. I think that he can do a decent job, in the team. So I hope that they bring him back, but I cannot say. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens then. Let me see. Marvin is asking a question. If Chelle likes to play an attacking midfielder, which attacking midfielder do we have that fits his style?
He's at Alex Iwobi.
So you think now Alex Iwobi is going back into an advanced midfield role?
His team is set. It's going to be Alex Iwobi, Lookman, and Osimhen up front. You will see.
Alex Iwobi, Lookman, and Osimhen
up front.
So are we talking about Iwobi on the right or
no? Iwobi be
behind the two of them.
So
Osimhen and Lookman playing as forwards, as strikers. Lookman, assuming Lookman will be the supporting striker. Osimhen as the main number 9.
The main number 9. Lookman to roam about.
Free roam.
Free roam, yes, to roam about.
And then it will be playing behind them as the chief creative outlet.
Yeah.
Okay. Deji says at least we have a goalkeeper now, thanks to Pesero. Pesero did not discover, but he brought him into the team, so I understand what you're saying. Let me see. God's Power says we don't have a choice but to support the coach. However, our guys need to inject optimum commitment to the representation of Nigeria. I agree. The coach, we're discussing him now because he just got appointed. Once it's time for the first match day, it's just full support. Let's give him full support. Let's see what he can do. You know, we'll be observing developments leading up to your match. But of course, we have to get behind him. You know, we cannot wish him bad. We have to believe that he can do a good job and hope and, you know, see what the results look like. Our South African friend says, all African coaches want to play beautiful football that they know nothing. Chelle will fail. Germany or Holland coach will do well with Nigeria. So I don't know. You know, you're South African, so I don't know if you're wishing us well or you're wishing us bad there. Even though you're my friend, you're on our channel. Yeah, I know, but you know, I don't know. You might low key not want to see because we're facing them. If Chelle does well, it means that South Africa is not going to World Cup.
let me just say something. Chelle lost only one game in the first 16 games of Mali. One game in the first 16 games. He beat Congo. If he can win the first 3 games for us, we're going to the World Cup.
I mean, if he starts well, yes, but we also don't want him to start well and then cool off. Because the same way he won those first 16 games, did not finish well. The same way Enzo Maresca won how many of his first few games with Chelsea. And now to pick results in December now be like exam. But yeah, okay. If you want to call in, the link has been posted on all platforms now. You have your chance. We'll give everybody a few minutes to share their thoughts. I know most people want to talk about the Super Eagles coach. So please call in now and we'll give you a chance to share your thoughts. But Smith Layi, before we take calls, I just want to ask you this question finally about Eric Chelle. It's not one question, it's going to be a few questions. The first one is that on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, you are a guy that knows Nigerian football. People really value your opinion. You know, when you say something, people are going to take it to the bank. So now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much confidence should Nigerians have in Eric Chelle?
Nigeria should go and sleep and go to bed. Open your door. Thief will not come. So for me, I think it might be hard for Nigeria to trust him, but I can tell you that after the first 2 games, you'll be calling him, you'll be yelling him.
Okay. Second question. Looking at our squad now, who are some players that you think we can expect to see elevated performances from under Eric Chelle? Who do you think he can improve and step up their performances?
You know, the player that just comes to my mind, you know, that is going to thrive, you know, in this formation is Rafael Onyedika. You know, he's a guy, Rafael Onyedika, and the guy from Augsburg, and what's it called? Frank Onyeka. You know, he likes a player with legs, and I don't want to do respect to the players, the senior players in this team. The way I see it, some players will have early retirements. And the Twitter warriors will come on Twitter, we blast. I can tell you, some players will have early retirement, but the best thing is that let's support him with what he's doing. Because I know that he's going to achieve he's going to end well. So for me, a player that comes to my mind is Rafael Onyedika. And I also think that this guy, I don't want to mention names, but Aduma Lukman, and that player that you will try very well, you know.
Okay. Another question that I'll ask you: if you say that Alex Iwobi is going to be his chief creator, what do you think it means for your boy Fisayo Dele Bashir? What does it mean for him?
For me, you know, I don't want to mention names like this, but I wish him the best of luck, you know, with this man.
You are saying a lot without saying anything.
Yeah, I just wish him the best of luck. Yeah.
Okay, what does it mean for Fisayo? I wish him the best of luck.
Yes.
Okay, and then finally, Smith Layi, right now, assuming every single Nigerian player is available,
Mm-hmm.
Give me your first starting 11 under Eric Chelle.
So, according to what I see and what I think that he will probably actually play. The goalkeeper, we don't the goalkeeper give up Stanley Wabali or maybe Koye, but I think it's going to be Wabali. We'll go it out for a while. And I think we didn't say to have bought the new goalkeeper. That's another sad news. So, and the right back, I think it's going to be Ola. I don't think, anybody can actually debate that. And I think the central defense is where I think there might be a slightly big problem, I know that Kevin Bassey is going to be part of the central defense, but to see who will pair Kevin Bassey is, I don't really know. But I think some players might probably get like a new, it's going to be like, I think Semi Ajayi, it's going to be back in February. I think it's going to be Semi Ajayi that will actually play. But, Semi Ajayi, I have a question mark on that because of the type of defenders that he likes. Kevin Bassey will suit what he wants to play. Left back, I have question mark on Bruno Yimich. That's left back. So I don't know. Maybe he's going to swap a line for that side and Brian Side somewhere on the right.
What does they do? What else, Sanusi?
Because he's not back yet.
No. I said assuming everybody's fit.
Okay, assuming everybody's fit. Okay, this is Sanusi. Ahead of him. Ahead of him. The midfield three is where I think I have problem picking. So I know that Onyedika and Onyeka will actually play in his formation, but my issue is who will be probably on the left. He likes to play like that three, like central midfield. Like one is going to be at the base, two can dictate play. We probably box to box Frank Onyeka, but I don't know who can be at that left. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to Hassan Yusuf. I don't think it's going to be Hassan Yusuf. So I don't know about Wilfred Ndidi. I don't know, maybe it's going to.
You don't think that Ndidi has a guaranteed spot?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he has a guaranteed spot in this team. I think it's going to be similar to Bissoma's situation. I'm not predicting anything. I just think that it's going to be similar to that situation. If you don't do the work, if you don't run, you get the legs very well. You can't play with this. You can't play with this man. So I partially put Bashiru there, but I don't think he will play Bashiru. I think he's going to look for a way so that plays out. Maybe he's going to use two base, and so in front of them, I think it will be Alex Iwobi, then Victor Osimhen and Lukman up front.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Now let me bring people on to share their thoughts. The link is posted if you want to join. Just click the link, call in, make sure you have your camera on, make sure you are well dressed, make sure we can see your face and we can hear you properly, and you get a couple minutes to share your thoughts. Okay, first.
Sorry, somebody asked me about Sweet Desas. Sorry, I don't see Desas play when he's not even playing in Rangers. So why would he come and play in Super Eagles?
Yeah, he lost his place in Rangers to some 20-something-year-old boy.
Moroccan guy.
Yeah.
I just came from Morocco.
Okay, let's get the first caller on. Hello, good evening. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Okay, we don't really have time for you to figure it out. So figure it out and come back. Yeah, hello, good evening, Mr. Adedoto.
Yeah, thank you, AyoT. Smith Layi, how are you doing?
Thank you.
Very well, thank you for
and AyoT, time for your comments yesterday. God bless you for that. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what do you want to discuss today?
Yeah, let me just say this. You see, on the other guy, on the coach, I'm indifferent, but I'm not happy with people that are saying, oh, that is better than Parcelo. And I want to disagree with you when you say about record. If they ask you to choose between my Parcelo, they're going to choose him. Records, you see, your CV speaks for you. Like I told somebody, I watched Parcelo when it was called Sporting Lisbon, when Joseph Anagahire was in Sporting Lisbon. Though they lost the final of Europa Cup. You can't compare a coach that got to the final of Europa Cup with a coach that doesn't have any winning record. So that I disagree with people that are saying that that Chelle is better than Parcero, because I'm going to go to with by record. I think Parcero is better than him. Be that is as it may, I see my worries is that I hope Chelle will be able to convince the diaspora Nigerian descent who are doing well to come and play for Nigeria. And I want to go with you, Smith Layi, when you said, oh, it cannot be pushed, that Chelle cannot be pushed, because like I've always been saying, my problem with some coaches is just because that agenda. I don't want to see a replica of Iefu or Iraqi-based player or a player in Ethiopia. I don't want to see a replica of that. I want a coach that will pick players based on merit. If at all, I said, if at all, you also want to look at the home based. Please, I want a coach that will pick even the home base based on merit. That's that on that. Then I wonder how to, like I said about this guy. Like I said about this guy, Gift Orban. I want him to work on his temperament. I want him to watch how he talks, so that because he has a lot of potential, so that I can actually reach his potential. And my girl, Smith, I know my girl, Deborah Abiodun. Smith, remember when I told you about under 20 that watch out for this girl? I would, like I said, my opinion, maybe because I love education, I would have loved her to finish her degree so that if after football, she can be something like Eniola Luko, stuff like that. So she can do something else, even after football with her degree and stuff like that. So she will not only focus on, oh, let me be a coach, like some players do now, that after football, they all want to be a coach. That's I would have loved my girl to finish her college. But the way it is here, the way it is back home in Nigeria, most footballers are actually the breadwinner of their families. Maybe maybe a lot of people be calling her, you are in America now, she'll be able to send us something. I don't know, maybe she decided to call it quit with school because from Pittsburgh to Washington by bus is about 4 hours, So and by air it's over 1 hour. And I said, okay, maybe she can be juggling football, school and league together. I would have loved her to finish her school. But he said, I'm not going to judge Chelle now, even though I'm not happy that we are going down. I expected us to employ a coach either from Germany or from Holland, because German and Dutch coaches have all been good for us. But all the same, I will not say anything negative about him, even though I'm not happy with the appointment, especially coming from a technical committee headed by Iguavoin. No. But all the same, I wish him well. I want him to succeed because if he succeeds, it's for the joy of all Nigerians. I wish him well. I will keep my comment for now, but I wish Chelle well. Thank you for that.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Adedoton. Well said. Thank you for your thoughts. Okay, let me quickly bring on our next caller. Xcode, is your audio working now? Hello, sir. Okay, we still cannot hear you, Xcode, so I'm going to have to drop you and then, we'll try one more time. Temi Tokwe, good evening. Thank you for joining us again.
Good evening.
Hello, Temi Tokwe.
Can you hear me? Are you?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Good evening, Smith Layi. How are you doing? Happy year, guys.
Good evening. Yes.
You are doing fine.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Go on,
My thought on the Super. I will the first matches. Let's talk about what happened in that matches. Happy that we can talk to these guys from France. Let's go to play for Nigeria. Start playing very well. And also get our players are playing in Europe very well. They're playing European football. People like and John who played for Lecce in Italian side, they make sure that. Also also get like Baba Daniel play for Shani is a good midfielder. All those players can play for Spanish available. For me, NFF appointment, but for me, I think we do a good job. I'm not jogging now on the first match. Quickly move to Germany now. They have left Lyon. Let's see what happened in Germany. He performed very well against the call of fire. I think I've still done for Nigeria now. But on his Twitter page, he flagged that they want to let's see what happened now. Finally on the appointment. Let's go to my Chile. Simple. Thank you very much. Respect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Temitope. Always nice to hear your thoughts. Very concise, very well thought out.
Yeah.
Regular on the program. One day, if I mean, you live in Nigeria, I'll be Temitope.
Yes.
Hello. Where Lagos?
Yes, I live in Nigeria. Yes, I live in Lagos. Yes, Lagos.
By God's grace, when I'm in Lagos, yeah, somebody that I would actually like to meet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll make that happen one day.
Yeah.
No problem.
All right.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, that was Temitope. Likes the move Gift Orban to Hoffenheim. He doesn't want to judge the coach until after the first two games. Again, nobody should really be judging the coach yet. I know what right now we're talking about him, oh, he's better than this, he's not better than that. That's just because of the initial appointment. But I'm not judging him. I'm not saying, oh, he's not going to do well. I've said it here that I honestly think he has enough quality to qualify us for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So things, I'm fairly positive. I'm just not over the moon because no track record.
Yeah.
So I'm not over the moon. But I like him. It's like when Chelsea had Graham Potter, bright young manager, good ideas. I like him. Let's see what he can do. But I'm not over the moon. Let's see how it goes. But yes, we'll wait until March to see how things start to develop. I'll try one more time. Xcode, I really, really do hope your audio is working now. But let's try one more time. If not, we'll have to jump to AB if he turns on his camera. Xcode, welcome. Oh, you're helping your mouth now. Okay.
Can you hear me
Now I
now?
don't. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Good evening. Thank you for calling me.
Yeah. Well, see, you guys are trying. Shout out to you, AyoT. Shout out to you, Smith Layi.
Thank you.
As for this Chelle, to be honest with you, there is no need going back and forth on to this Pesero thing. Pesero is gone. We are looking to the future, which is Chelle. You understand? I like what Smith Layi said about his formation because I noticed it too when he played with Mali, a diamond formation, that 4-4. It's a very good one, but the only issue I have is that's one of I won't say strong weakest link, but it's one of we don't have a lot of midfielders, and even if you want to invite someone like Chrysanthus Uche, I don't think he's ripe enough, but who am I? I'm just a football fan, but if he finds him good enough, fine. As for Super Falcons, what do you expect? What do you expect? It's sad. This is a team that when they won, do you remember that AFCON they won in Cameroon? That AFCON they won in Cameroon, that they went to go and protest after they won. Do you remember? Smith Layi, do you remember that AFCON? That they went to go and protest, that the sports minister that time said they did not prepare the money for them because they did not expect them to win. Do you remember? Who remembers that time?
Yeah.
Even Messi Akide that time, when they won in, I think 2004, they stayed in that hotel for 1 week. Why? Because they could not. We have always treated Super Falcons badly. It's just the way it is. It's sad, but I wish there's something we can do to arrest the situation, but always treat. And they are the most successful national team in Africa.
Mhm.
I stand I stand to be correct. They are the most
There's no
successful
there's no
national.
correction. Don't worry.
No,
Mhm.
in case I'm wrong, you understand? But we keep treating these people poorly. We don't pay them. Even Fifth Pro had to come on Twitter and talk about their allowances. Come on,
Mm.
this is not what you do. And yet we want to cut players like, what's the name of that lady that is impressive? Edna Imadi. Shout out to you, AyoT. It's because of you I knew her. You understand? All these players, would they want to come when they hear all these stories of player bonuses, player allowances? They won't want to come. Yes, Nigeria is a big name. Nigeria is the biggest African female team. Yes, that one is a fact. But the truth is, nobody want to come with this kind of disorganization. Even this Furo Yenimi, he had an interview with Omar where he asked about his son. You understand? He didn't emphatically say. He said he would love to. He will be the one to make his decision. So it's just the way our administrations handle football. It's so sad. It's so sad. But wish them all the best. I wish Justin Maduku all the best because it's so clear now that he'll be a coach. So yeah, make I go. Let other people talk. Peace out.
All right. Thank you very
Thank
much. Thank you
Thank
for
that's
that.
good. Thank you.
And I'm happy that someone is at least talking about this Super Falcons thing because
Mhm.
to me it's such an important thing. You see how when I was talking, I was just getting more annoyed and annoyed.
Yeah.
And I know we are talking about the coach again, but please, we cannot neglect our women's national team.
Yeah.
They also have an AFCON coming up. I know that to the NFF, maybe to most Nigerians, to them, qualifying Super Eagles for the World Cup is more valuable than whatever the Super Falcons are doing. But we should give them their due respect.
Mhm.
Again, we're not fighting the Oyinbo's fight, saying that they should get equal everything. What we're
Mhm.
just saying is just give them what they need. You
Mhm.
cannot completely neglect them. This is an AFCON year. I wanted to bring on engineer Usi, but it looks like he's dropped off. So okay, he has come back on. So let me just bring on engineer Usi because he was here earlier, and then Caller Brights, you'll be up after him. Yes, hello, welcome. We cannot hear you, sir. Okay, engineer Usi, I think you need to fix your audio. We cannot hear you. Caller Brights, welcome.
Oh,
Yes, happy New Year.
AyoT,
Nice to
Happy New
see you
Year.
again.
I hear you,
Smith
guy.
Layi. I'm the thing is just so funny to me, like to be sincere, because I just look at the game like they try to keep it as a secret, but at the end of the day, because to me, I believe the reason why they keep it as a secret because the people are going to talk, people will shout on them. That was why, because they already know the game they're going to play. And this Eric Chelle has been in the corner since
Mhm.
Parcero left.
It
He has
was,
been in
I
the
think it
corner
was, it
since
was even the
Parcero left.
first name that we heard.
He was exactly, he was the first name that popped out. So I like some people go against it. That was why. So at the end of the day, you just play the game, or they already knew what they are doing. So it is what it is. So I just hope, but to me, I just believe he just want to add Nigeria to his own CV. To me, at least if you want to, we are in a dicey situation. So at least if you want to get it, go all out, get a good coach, a grade A, maybe a Dutch coach, which is a Netherlands coach or a German coach. We do better. I don't someone that lost the game that they were pouring water on his head. So I hope we qualify, but to be sincere, this is not the way to run a football. And Smith Layi, if you could remember, I told you something that Amaju Pinnick was saying something on Channel TV that they already have a coach, but he might not be someone we all thought he's going to be. So he was being diplomatic there, a political word. So I I don't know. To me, I believe Amaju Pinnick influence this guy to become our coach. To me, that is the way I see it. In terms of the Super Falcon, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with the NFF. They always have these things around them. It's either they hold them a salary, a bonus, and everything. The FIFA need to complain and all those things. And if you want to do things, it's better you do it on time. Are you trying to use the coach as a temporary coach? And I tell you, if you want to get a coach, not you playing a dicey, you playing a maybe
If
play a gamble
if you
game.
want to give him the
So
job,
that's how I say.
give him the job. You know, you cannot
Give him the job, not like the one you did, not like maybe okay on a trial on a probation.
for 8 months.
So yeah, that's the probation. And from the comment the NFF chairman said about the Chan team, that maybe the coach will take over the Chan team, that is totally nonsense. Allow the coach in charge, we let him handle the team, do it, take them to the tournament, then comes back. To me, I would prefer Ogumodede to be in charge of the Chan team. So from there, we'll be able to get a better one, the one that can promote into the senior team. They can do that. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a little bit more faith, you know, just have a little bit more belief in Eric Chelle.
Okay. Okay.
Blessed, you're up next. But before I bring you, always Engineer Uyi back. Okay, no, Blessed, you're up next. But before, let me just quickly look at the comments and just catch up on what people are saying. Smith Layi, you've given us the quote of the day. Open your door, thief will not come inside. I'm going to clip that part and post on social media. You know, so Chelle is the best choice. Best is a strong word, you know. So best is a strong word. Maybe you say best among the options that we have. Okay, fine. But you say it's the best choice out of every coach in the world or out of who, you know. Well, it says Nigerian Football should consider Jacob Murphy of Newcastle United. I'm not talking about Murphy. Balance says only white coach can do well. No. I disagree. It's not only white coach that can do well, but you need to get a quality coach. You know, it just has to be a quality coach, but the coach doesn't have to be white, even if not Asian coach or African coach. If the coach is quality, the coach is quality. Chika says Super Eagles aren't going to the World Cup, no matter how much we wish them. So Chika doesn't have faith that we can qualify. Okay. John Jones says, wish we had hired the Moroccan team Mazembe coach for the Falcons. Let me see. Ola says they thought it would be a European tactician. So they thought they would hire a European tactician, but we got Eric Chelle in the end. Okay, we'll take about 4 callers and then we'll wrap up for today. So 4 more callers and wrap up for today. Blessed, welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for the update. I've been following you.
Wait. Sorry.
Yeah.
You are a woman.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you for calling.
This is the first lady.
We never get women calling into our program. Thank you for calling them. I'm so happy to hear from you today. Thank you. Are you in Nigeria?
Yeah. I mostly follow your update, but then I don't say much. I'm more like a ghost follower, but then I follow your updates. And I've been following updates about this coach issue. So
if I don't know, sorry, before you go on, sorry, because I'm so happy. I don't know if like maybe 50,000 naira will do anything for you, but if it will, send me a DM and I'll send you 50K.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Go on.
Yeah, so I just want to raise my concern about this coach thing now, because now I'm thinking of, like, in the case of Man United now, the way they went from Ten Hag to Ruben Amorim. I don't know if it's going to be that way for us in the Super Eagles League, because I'm actually worried, because this guy, I know that they said that he has one of the
network.
But then at the same time, I'm just sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go on.
Can you guys see? Yeah. So I just feel I'm just worried that it's not going. I don't know. I'm just worried that I don't want it to be a situation whereby we miss the World Cup, because this thing we shouldn't have. We shouldn't be doing it some months to World Cup qualification. We should be doing it during AFCON qualification. I don't know. There's something I've come to notice about the NFF is when it's like getting close to the deadline. I don't know, like last minute solution. That's when they used to push someone
Fire
into the
brigade
storm.
approach is nothing new now.
It doesn't really make sense, and it's not nice, because
Mm.
imagine someone knowing the pattern of play before, but then you now put them into another management. I just wonder how these players will feel. I don't know if it's just me, but how these players will feel with these changes every time. Like different coaches take them every time, every qualification. I don't know. And again, you mentioned something about um that's Smith mentioned something about some players losing position. I'm just worried about players like Moses Simon losing position, because he's actually very good in the left wing, if I'm being honest. So I'm worried about players like that. I'm also worried about players like Fisayo Dele Bashiru, because when he has the physicality and he knows how to run.
Smith Layi, do you want to respond to that?
No, for me, if a player is not playing and Chelle is getting results, we want results. That's it. But if he's not getting
Yeah, we
results and
want.
player is
I
not playing,
know.
that is when
I
we
know
come
we
after
want
him.
results. I would know we want results. I understand we want results. But me, I'm just worried about this coach not being a
Yeah.
situation from going from Ten Ang, then I'm going to like something like Ruben Amorim, something like
You
we're
know,
just trying to
see,
experiment and try our best.
no, see,
And again,
Blessed. Sorry
Super
to cut
Eagles
you
is
off.
like a
Sorry,
team.
Blessed. I want to just say something
No,
because
it's fine.
I gave this analogy earlier. I mentioned Amorim, but I took it back and I changed it to Graham Potter. What we are doing is what Chelsea did when they hired Graham Potter.
Yeah,
You see a coach that has done okay
yeah.
with a small club. The coach has done okay with a small club. Then now they say, okay, let's bring him to this bigger club. We like his style of play. We like what he has done. Let us see if he can do well. So the reality of it is that this is a gamble. That's the reality. We cannot deny it. It may work out, it may not work out. But the NFF thinks it is a gamble that is worth taking. That's what I would say.
So now, if I'm not, let's, I'm not being negative now, but assuming we don't make it to the World Cup, are we going to ask this coach?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's the reason why they did not tell us how long the contract is for. if in fact, if we should lose those, if we should just lose those 2 games in March, safe.
My brother is going before September.
If we should lose in March like this, it's God bless.
Maybe they gave him 2 months. You don't know.
You don't know. So, and finally, I'll just say on what Blessed was saying about the players just switching, coach each time that they're having to play a game. The reality of it is that for professional players, it's not a good thing. And for Nigeria, it is especially a bad thing. And the reason I say it's especially a bad thing for Nigeria is because you know that Nigeria, we don't have a philosophy, we don't have a system, we don't have a style of play. A country like England or France is deep, or Spain, even if they are changing coaches, they have their philosophy, they have the basics that every coach is coming to fit into. We don't have that in Nigeria. So when a new coach is coming, is essentially starting from scratch. So at the same time, while yes, we're used to fire brigade approach, this is even relatively early for the NFF. This is even relatively early. We're still we're on the 7th day in January. The game is not until late March. So for NFF standards, this is actually even early. But let's see what he can do between now and March. Okay, Humble Henry, do you have your camera on so that I can bring you on as the final caller for tonight? Humble Henry, last call. Okay, while I'm waiting to see if we'll get one more caller, let me just read the comments very quickly. I'm blessed. Please send me a DM now before I forget. If I forget this night and my joy goes, my joy has gone. And somebody is telling me that he wants to add 50k to make it 100k for you. So please send me a DM now. Somebody say I'm doing gender discrimination. I've not given him 50k before. I'm sorry. It's not gender discrimination, but you know that the first person to do something is worthy of praise. If you are the first person, and this is the first woman that would call into our Naija FC podcast live, and it gives me joy because I want to see. I love the Super Falcons. I love women's football, and I want to see more women engaging. So it gives me joy, and I'm just trying to make somebody happy. Yeah. But yes, okay, Humble Aaron has dropped off. So let me take AB. I know AB was waiting before. AB, please, you have 2 minutes because we're over time. But yes, welcome.
Hi, good evening, AyoT. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
All right. Good evening, AyoT. Good evening, Smith Layi.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, just to kind of summarize. Yeah, I think I agree with what most scholars have said. As for Chelle, this man, I think we should not be, I don't know, maybe overly enthusiastic or pessimistic. Let's just see what he will do. I feel like two things is either he goes in there, maybe he's not, something is happening, he's not able to do his job, and we don't get the result, or he goes in there, they give him a free hand to do his job, and he does excellently well. Like our 2 matches in March will win, So that's what I think. So I think it's either he goes in there, performs, or just things just happen, and yeah, I think that's what I would say. As per compared with Peseru, I think we've been through that in the chat, so there's no point, going there. And also for the female team, for me, I'm also a very a lover of female football. I've been watching female football for years. I feel like a time is coming where the people at the aim of affairs, there will be someone or maybe a team of people there that will really, give them that support, and female football will thrive in it. That's what I think. I think a time is coming for them, and I hope it comes soon, and they'll be treated well, fairly well. And yeah, I think that's it for me. Nothing much. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, AB. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Okay. Let me just take final comments and then we'll give our last thoughts and call it a night. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys, man. We're 2.5 hours into this one now. Thank you for everyone that has stuck with us throughout. These football conversations, you start talking, you tell yourself, oh, you will do 1.5 hours or you will do 2 hours and go. But then once you get into the flow of it, it just keeps on going and going and going. I want to just use this junction to just inform you guys that if you'd like to support Eagles Tracker or you want to enjoy more exclusive content, we now have a Patreon page. So Patreon is a paid platform whereby, think of it like OnlyFans, but no nudity. That's the best way I can describe it to you. So with exclusive content, you have to pay as a subscriber to see the content, or you can pay per video or per post or per content that you want to watch. But essentially, what this allows us to do is it allows us to be able to do match analysis, tactical analysis, whereby we are actually showing you videos, of different players' performances. We cannot post such videos on YouTube because copyrights. We cannot post such videos on Facebook because copyrights. We cannot post such videos on Twitter because copyrights. That's what Patreon allows us to be able to do. The Patreon costs $5 a month at the minimum level. There are 3 levels, but the minimum level is $5 a month. If you're in the US, that is about $3.50. If you're in the US, if you're in the UK, that is maybe £2.50. If you're in Nigeria, let me see, $5 is like what in Nigeria? Maybe like 6,000, or thereabout.
7,000
or 7,000 for the subscription in a month. It would help the channel. It would support the contents that we create. It would help me to pay staff. It would help us to be able to get money to cover games. We want to go to the WAFCON. We want to go to the AFCON. We want to bring you guys more exclusive content. That is what all that money will go towards. It would also help us to be able to do giveaways to help community. We're always helping things like that. But if you want to enjoy that exclusive content, I know that the highlights has been very popular on Twitter, etc. But those highlights are what got our Twitter page deleted. So unfortunately, the only place that we can do those tactical analysis videos where we're actually showing clips from matches, where we're talking about players or analyzing performances, is going to be on Patreon. So please check it out. I'll put the link so that you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. Let me just but yeah, 1 second. Sorry, see me. I should have had the link ready. That's my bad. I just want to confirm that I'm sharing the right link. Okay, yes. Patreon.com/C/EaglesTracker NG. So if you would want to support, if you want to watch exclusive content, post-match analysis, things like that, make sure you join the Patreon. Patreon.com/C/EaglesTrackerNG. If you're in Canada, $5 for the minimum tier. That's about $3.50 US. That's about £2.50 in the UK. About 7,000 naira in Nigeria, and you can convert to whatever other currency that you have. That is, if you're abroad, you spend that money on very trivial things every day. So I know that it's not preparing your pockets too much. If you're in Nigeria and you can afford it, please subscribe so that you can enjoy that content and you can support us. If you cannot afford it, no pressure. Just stay subscribed to the YouTube channel. Keep liking the videos, keep sharing the videos, and your support is very much appreciated that way. But please, it will help the channel, and it would also help us to keep on creating quality content for you guys. Okay. To the comments very quickly. XXX says Nigeria football would only see genuine progress when Amaju Pinnick is totally out of the picture. That one I'm not going to comment on it. But yeah, I hear you. Adedoton says yes, if he loses those 2 games, NFF will sack him straight. Ola says, see, as NFF they carry Super Eagles do experiments. I thought they got sponsors and federal government involved. So let me ask you about this, because this whole talk about we needed sponsors to be able to pay the salary, blah blah blah. How, I know that did not tell us, but how much do you think they can be paying Chelle in a month?
I think it's not going to be more than $30,000 in a month.
You think you can reach $30,000 a month?
I don't think it's going more than that. I think they're trying to. He's going to pay staffs, like an assistant.
Yeah, it's backroom staff.
Backroom staff. So I think that's where majority salaries might going to 80K. To pay all those people to actually work with him. So I think that's where the bulk of the money will go.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Adedamola says if Chelle qualifies for the World Cup, there is a high chance that NFF might still sack him.
Yeah.
People will either be looking for a local coach
just cause a fight. They will sack him.
Continuity is one of our issues. Interesting. Okay. So Smith Layi, we need to discuss, and I want us to do a proper breakdown of Chelle's teams, how he likes to play. I can get any videos from any Mali game, so that's not an issue.
Yes.
And we can analyze properly how they attack, how they defend. That would be, I think, an interesting video for us to do. And I'm sure people would appreciate and enjoy that as well. But for today, we want to say congratulations to Eric Chelle, appointed as the new head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Smith Layi, give one message to Eric Chelle and give one message to Nigerians. Go.
My message to Eric Chelle is this. This is your dream job. And I know that you got this job in July. You got this job around July, August. You didn't get the job today. So the way you think you can improve this team, believe in yourself. And I'm 100% sure that if you don't go out of your way to please others, I think you will qualify for the World Cup. And this work that you are taking will get you a better job in the future. Message to Nigerians, please let us don't look at color, don't look at skin color, don't look at background. Don't nickname him. Leave him the way it is, because that's what I call this guy Nuga coach.
This one. Somebody said, coach now water.
So please support this man, and I'm sure that this man will bring smiles to you. Please, this man might win narrowly. It's not about winning narrowly that is the issue. It's about getting the 3 points. This man, if you support him very well with your questions, this man will qualify Nigeria for the World Cup.
All right.
And they're going to give him M1 again.
For me, I would say, Eric Chelle, congratulations to you. Just stay focused. Don't let there be too much external influence, because if you allow external influence, at the end of the day, you're the one that is going to suffer all the consequences. You're the one that they will sack. You're the one that will get embarrassed. You're the one that they will throw under the bus. The people that are at the hierarchy are going to be there. Nobody's taking their jobs, no matter how good or how bad they are. So just make sure you focus on your job as the coach. Do as much as you can. Respect the players. Earn the players' respect. Yes, we know you like to play a fancy style of football or an attractive style of football, but do what is best to win. The objective is to qualify for the World Cup. However we do it, doesn't matter. Qualify for the World Cup. For Nigerian fans, Nigerians in general, I would say let's support the coach. I know that we all have mixed feelings. Even I, if you've watched or listened to this whole episode, even I have mixed feelings about it. But let us support the coach. Let us wish him all the best. Let us not condemn him before he even begins. If you want to analyze, if you want to, really analyze, fine, you're allowed to do that. But let's not condemn him before he begins. Let us give him the faith that he needs. Let us give him the support that he needs. And let us hope that our Super Eagles can soar again. So that's that for today. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Look forward to an exclusive interview with Ayo Iwala on Eagles Tracker this weekend. Exciting interview, first one of 2025. Is going to be a blockbuster interview. It talked about everything. Just yesterday I saw somebody on our Instagram page that was saying that Ayo Iwala just chased money and ruined his career. If you watch that interview, you would learn that he did not chase money. He did not choose where. I'll give you the first. In fact, let me just give the first expo here. Ayo Iwala only went to Algeria from, Tunisia was where he initially went from Nigeria. The reason why he went to Tunisia was because Enyimba blocked all his opportunity to go to Europe. Every single opportunity he had to go to Europe was blocked by Enyimba. And Enyimba left him with no choice than to go to Tunisia. The Tunisian offer was the only offer that Enyimba was willing to accept, because the Tunisian club was willing to pay the most money. And they said they don't care. They want the most money they can get. So that's how it all started for him, leaving Nigeria. And he spoke about so much more. Spoke about certain individuals that did certain things. Spoke about his journey in North Africa. So much more. Very interesting interview. You will learn so much about the player. Even I had certain opinions that just talking to him, I've had to change my opinions because now I have perspective. So watch out for that. It's going to be interesting. Interview with Emeka Eze coming up as well. Interview with Benjamin Tanimu coming up. Interview with Ibrahim Aliyu coming up. Interview with Yewande Balogun coming up. Interview with Victor Boniface coming up as well. And so much more.
What about Ludzie?
I don't have that one scheduled yet. But the goal is to give you guys at least an interview every other week. That's the goal. Every other week, speaking to different Nigerian players, coaches. I want to talk to different people that have, journalists, people that have made an impact in Nigerian football in one way or the other. You know, my friend, even over at Fans Tribe, I'm going to do an interview with him because I feel like what he has done in this Nigerian football content creator space is incredible. You know, incredible. So there's going to be so much interesting content. Make sure you stay tuned. And thank you very much to everyone that supports us. Thank you to everyone that engages with the content, that shares our videos. Those shares are so important. You guys don't know how important those shares are. These platforms, they value shares so much because you're bringing more people to the platform. You're bringing more people to spend time on their platform. You know, they make more money the more people come on their platform. So those shares are so invaluable to us. Don't be a ghost follower. And shout out to Blessed, but don't be a ghost follower. Engage with us, comment, you know, share. I want to know you guys as much as you guys see my face and hear my voice every week. I want to know who you are too. Let's build a community. That's the goal, to build a community. I appreciate you as well, Smith Layi. Big things in 2025. Trust me, guys. Big things in 2025. It's going to be an incredible year for Nigerian football. It's going to be an incredible year for Eagles Tracker, for Smith Layi, for Gun Football, for all of us that are watching. And until next time, guys, my name is AyoT. My co-host is
Smith Layi.
This is the Naija FC podcast. Bye-bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you.